Can you believe it? It's already been more than a year since the Completionist and his family's decade-long charity scam was exposed last November.
The truth is that, despite what they claim, Mutahar and Karl are not journalists, accountants, lawyers, or even engineers. They're YouTubers, just like me. That's why they never issued any corrections to this story, despite numerous allegations being thoroughly disproven even before my own response video came out. Mutahar engineer.
Alright guys, one subject that we actually didn't get to stream about. Jirard the Completionist was going to be my big return video to YouTube in 2024 in January. I had begun working on this project in December, right? I was working on this project and it got canned because A, it was another video I was never going to finish. B, I had some questions about the story and I was waiting to see how things would end up. And C, Mama Max kept asking me to watch his new YouTube video. And I think anyone here who's been a fan of the channel or, you know, just a casual watcher probably knows what happened after that, right? And when the Max stream hit, I realized, oh, fuck, dude. This is really bad. And then obviously the rest is history. I go out and make that video, and this Jirard the Completionist video never happens. But I was really passionate about it. I loved watching Mutahar's videos. I loved watching the videos made by Karl Jobst at the time as well. I was really invested into the story. This is obviously the Indieland alleged charity fraud incident. They talked about the golf tournament. They talked about the guy who didn't donate the money. We're gonna learn a lot about his side of the story right now. I actually had brief conversations in DMs, kind of pseudo interviews with beat 'em ups and Wolfden. I had like pseudo DM interviews with them for this video that never came out and stuff. I think they ultimately put out statements, but but I never got around to it, and I never really gave any I don't know how many takes I did give on this, but I think most of the people are going to be hearing me talk about this for the first time tonight. Jirard the Completionist put out a new video in the wake of Karl Jobst's embarrassing lawsuit defeat and Mutahar's engineering crisis.
The truth is that, despite what they claim, Mutahar and Karl are not journalists, accountants, lawyers, or even engineers.
My man! Yo! Oh my god, I didn't even know that was there. So the Completionist subscribed to Nick Andros after he made his fucking video. And I think is that Nathan, like Nathan Barnett? I can't tell, but that's so fucking funny. Yeah, dude, Jirard came back and started aura farming on Mutahar. That's so funny, dude.
My name is Jirard Khalil. In 2012, I started my YouTube channel.
I can't stress enough how much he looks like Mama Max. Like, he's got the same haircut. If he was in a white wife beater, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
That one video gamer, and for the last 13 years of my life, I have been completing games and making a lot of videos about the things that I absolutely love. On November 13th, 2023, two content creators named Karl Jobst and Mutahar Anas made videos detailing on how my family's charity, the Open Hand Foundation, had not made a contribution since its founding.
My understanding, and this is just where my biases come from, because I think I should give them to you right off the bat. I think Mutahar sucks. He's uncredible. And I have to literally research everything that guy says because I don't believe a word of it anymore. I think Karl Jobst sucks. I think his videos were the ones making the hardest claims that even Mutahar didn't like have the balls to follow through with, right? I think that Karl got like super ego max during this whole thing and looked like a total asshole, especially in hindsight. And I think this guy is a complete fucking moron, a total idiot. In some ways, probably you could make the argument that he was like malicious in the way that he responded to this stuff. I think that the vast majority of the things that were said, even things that ultimately turned out to be false, are this guy's fault. And he's a total douchebag. So I legitimately hate everybody here.
Despite numerous fundraisers and misleading statements by myself about charitable partners. Within a matter of days, and before I really had any opportunity to present any information of my own.
And I'm also launching a hot sauce with Billy Mitchell, so I guess that covers all my biases.
The narrative had shifted. I was being accused of embezzlement and charity fraud, with Karl and Mutahar directing their viewers to report my family's charity to the authorities.
Dude, I can't. Someone in my chat's just like, yo, I can't wait for Mutahar's next sleep paralysis review, where at like the 42-minute mark, he mentions how it's not worth it responding to Jirard.
Karl.
I don't even know if this guy's video is good yet, but I do know that that's going to be Mutahar's response.
And Mutahar directing their viewers to report my family's charity to the authorities prompting a criminal investigation by the Department of Justice. We were informed that the investigation officially...
Keep in mind, this also happened simultaneously the same year as Creator Clash 2. Well, not simultaneously, but it happened in the same calendar year as Creator Clash 2.
Wrapped up in the fall of 2024. All that remained was a meeting with the Department of Justice to clear up any lingering questions, such as why the open hand had been mass flagged in the first place. I was constantly told by the Department of Justice that this is the final meeting, and the final meeting was right around the corner. But officially now, over a year has passed since then. I didn't want to speak publicly about this whole investigation until I had those final results in my hand, hence my silence all this time. The honest truth is that the Department of Justice will not respond to any...
Wait, is he just ignoring... Wait, I'm confused. He did give a response, though. Like, initially. Like, he put out a response video. It's horrendous.
...until I had those final results in my hand. Hence my silence all this time. The honest...
By the way, every YouTuber who claims they reported, like, CSAM material to the FBI and posts a video a week later, like, everything with the government takes fucking forever. Like, obviously, that's just performative. Like, you're saying you've done that performatively.
Final results in my hand. Hence my silence all this time. The honest truth is that the Department of Justice will not respond to any emails, despite telling Open Hand's lawyers that they're interested in...
Dude, he's exposed. Bro, I did not expect this. A minute and 35 in, I thought this would be a response video. He's making an exposed video on the DOJ. It's actually all Trump's fault.
One final meeting to close the case. It has been over a year waiting on this matter, and the fact of the matter is, I need to move on. Whenever I get this final documentation, whatever it says, I don't care what it is, I will share the results with whatever I am legally allowed to share.
You are our DOJ?
As soon as I can.
He addresses that in the video? Dude, I hate Smaggle. He actually addresses Mutahar and Karl Jobst in the video, Nick, okay?
And I am still absolutely confident
the person doing it probably got fired.
That the accusations of fraud and embezzlement will be proven false. However, even if...
This is like a mystery box. It's like, could you imagine it turns out that the fucking allegations end up being true? Like, despite everything he says in this video, whatever proof he pulls forward, he makes, like, imagine this is the best video ever, and there's nothing he says that's a lie or nothing that he says is wrong, and everything that we see is good. And then 2 weeks later, they finally get back to him and go, yeah, dude, we're pulling the car around. Get in. You're going to jail for fraud. Wait, what the fuck?
If we never broke the law.
Dude, surprise, you're going to prison.
Serious moral mistakes were still made by myself and the foundation. The open hand took far too long to donate. We never explained why it took so long until after everyone...
Dude, he, like, waited to donate the money for years to the point where, like, the money became less... not less valuable, but, like, if he had donated it sooner or whatever, it would have been more, like, it would be more substantial.
Called us out, and I lied about...
It was just sitting in an account.
...about this for all of Indieland's years, both knowingly in 2023 and unknowingly in all the years before. But it doesn't matter what kind of explanation either I or anyone else involved might provide. This happened, and rightfully
inflation.
So, it pissed off everyone. To my viewers and donors, friends and collaborators, I am so sorry for hiding the truth.
I love this. I saw this part. Like, somebody played this part of the video, and I had assumed this was the conclusion. My brain is completely fucking screwed up right now. I am totally at a loss. I was not expecting the DOJ twist. And I also assumed this taking accountability segment would be like right here. I thought I jumped in at the very end of the video, but there's still a whole video here. I thought, dude, this is so weird.
Viewers and donors, friends and collaborators.
I was like, this sounds so sincere. Like, this is probably going to look good on him.
I am so sorry for hiding the truth. It was selfish, full stop. I want you all to have the context as to how everything happened, but nothing I've said so far is an excuse, and neither is anything else in this video. All of this is on me. Even if it wasn't exactly how I imagined things would go, my goal always was to make sure this money got donated to the right place as quickly as possible.
I don't believe that. I don't know. Okay, he had me up until that sentence.
Always on me. Even if it wasn't exactly how I imagined things would go, my goal always was to make sure this money got donated to the right place as quickly as possible.
Didn't you hold the money for like almost a decade, and then when people bullied you online, you like threw it at somebody? Here, take it! Isn't that how that went down? Okay.
And I'm immensely thankful that it got done. So, with that in mind, I'm sure many of you still have a ton of questions.
But then why would, if that was their passion, why didn't they just say, hey, we need, like, whatever he says in this video, because I don't know what it's going to be, but, like, even then, he got bullied into donating it to, like, some fucking organization anyway, right? Like a win.
Especially about why this happened in the first place and where I've been for the past year. I want to take some time to tell my side of the story and how we got here, but I also want to clear up many of the false accusations made against me, along with addressing the individuals who not only broke this story, but pushed it into the realm of conspiracy. So, yes, just in case all of you are wondering, this is in fact scripted. I am reading from a script, but I want to be...
Finally, somebody here is not a fucking idiot. There's finally a YouTuber who is just outright scripting their response video. Amazing, dude. Like, I this is just such a little thing, but no one else does this.
Clear. The words that you're hearing today are me and only me. There's nobody else trying to influence.
Well, wow, no shit. It's like, yeah, of course no shit. I haven't had to pause the video 500 times to go, how did he why would he say it? Why would he say this? It's because he thought about it before he said it, instead of like firing up a live stream and telling everybody something retarded, like every other YouTuber seems to do.
Influence what I say here. I just want to be sure that everything I say is accurate to the receipts I'm providing, to my own experiences. And
plus, you can send it to legal, you know? You can just send it legal's way.
Most importantly, that you are hearing the truth straight from me, not behind lawyers, other content creators, or voiceovers disembodied by random gameplay footage. So for now, let's go back to where all this began, with my mom. When I was young,
Oh god, that got me. That actually got me. Dude. The Third Reich was a time in Nazi Germany.
Now, let's go back to where all this began, with my mom. When I was young, I lost my mom to frontotemporal dementia, and she lived with that disease.
Oh my god, dude. I forgot why he was going to say that. It was a bad pause on my part. Holy shit, dude.
For roughly 16 years. When she passed away in 2013, my family officially launched a charity organization called the Open
This all started when I was born. Oh no, he just ulted. He ulted hard.
Foundation, with the mission of raising awareness and money for dementia research, educational tools, and helping families. We saw a real need after the frustrations we had personally experienced working with UCSF and how they handled our contributions, both financially and with my mom's own body.
You forgot? Oh, I see what you did there. Tiff, listen, Tiff, all right? That's a fucked up joke that you made right there.
Parts. Before my mom passed away, my family was assured of how incredibly helpful her donation would be and what a difference it would make to the research.
That just sounds gross. Does anyone feel like that sounds fucking gross? I didn't like that. Wait, can I hear that one more time?
Of how with my mom's F and how they handled frustrations we had personally experienced working with UCSF and how they handled our contributions, both financially and with my mom's own body parts. Before my mom passed away, my family was assured of how incredibly helpful her donation would be and what a difference it would make to the research.
I don't know, that feels... I mean, I guess organ donating or whatever makes sense, right? But it's like, don't worry. Even in death, you'll still be, like, used to find a cure. It just doesn't seem like something that... I don't know. She's probably a better person. Jirard's mom is probably a better person than me, okay? Because I would fucking fly off the handle if somebody told me that.
Well, imagine our frustration.
But I can't even imagine what position that woman was in.
When
That's an extremely strong choice.
After donating our mom's brain and spinal cord, along with several thousands of dollars, we were told that her body...
People donate their bodies all the time. I know, but being in a room where you're acknowledging this and being like, listen, your time's up, but they can use your brain to, like, help other people, and this contribution would be huge for science. And it's like, you're a better person than me. I would tell these people to go fuck themselves. That's insane.
Body parts were pretty much useless by a staff of completely different people that we didn't even know any.
Like, yeah, I understand what everybody's saying, but I wouldn't be able, like, me personally, I wouldn't be able to get over the fact that you're, like, thinking of cutting my head open and removing my fucking brain while we're still audibly having this conversation and I'm still alive. But again, I don't know what it's like to be a terminally ill patient, and I hope I never find out.
Anymore. It made my family feel like we had just given away my mom's body parts for nothing, with the contribution feeling more like a feel-good courtesy than a worthwhile sacrifice.
Okay, I think I agree with Jirard.
Pretty much useless, along with well, imagine our frustration when, after donating our mom's brain and spinal cord, along with several thousands of dollars, we were told that her body parts were pretty much useless by a staff of completely different people that we didn't even know anymore.
Okay, so now I feel totally vindicated in my position, and all of you are wrong, and I agree with Jirard. I actually agree with everything this guy says, because he agrees with me. Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, it feels fucking weird when the big smiley guy with the fucking folder comes up to you in the hospital and goes, listen, we're gonna need your brain, okay? Listen, your time on this world, you're not long for it, but you know who is? Little Timmy. Little Timmy needs your brain, okay? I hate that shit. Yeah, I agree with this guy. Everything he said. I defend every single action he's ever had.
Made my family feel like we had just given away my mom's body parts.
Bro, because I heard that, it clocked, okay? You guys started fighting with me on it, and then this guy just came in and slam dunked it. Alley-oop, dude. 1-2.
Nothing, with the contribution feeling more like a feel-good courtesy than a worthwhile sacrifice. This is where the open hand...
This whole situation feels like a smiling friend. Oh my god, dude. Charlie, we need to take his brain. How are we gonna do that? Look, this is gonna be like really good for like science and shit. Yeah, we're gonna do crazy things with your brain. And then the other guy walks over and goes, yeah, those guys don't even work here. Ooh.
Foundation began, and with it, the need for knowing how charitable contributions actually get spent. And as for me, I didn't really get involved into any of this until I reached a place in my career where I really felt like I could use my platform to make a big difference. In 2018, my best friends and I...
No, but I'm not sorry. Now I'm picturing Mr. Never mind.
I created Indieland, a 24 to 60 hour live stream event where we would...
Why did you put the image of... Dude, no. Dude, hold on. No, I can't. I need like a minute. I'm sorry. Somebody fucking mentioned Mr. Frog, and then I added Mr. Frog to my skit in my head, and it's just demonic. That is a demonic skit that has been created in only my mind. Okay, and you will never understand why it's so funny, and I'm not telling you.
Play and promote indie games with the people who made them, raising money for charity with all of you at home watching, cheering us on as I went through tons of gross physical challenges at my own expense. Indieland went on for 6 years, and my team and I were so thrilled to see our little show succeed.
All right, imagine, hypothetically, there's a completely different dementia patient that is completely unrelated to Jirard the Completionist.
Nicholas, the goat. I appreciate that.
Mr. Boss tells Pim and Charlie that they have to get a brain and a spinal cord, okay? And he doesn't matter how, he has to make somebody smile, okay? But to do this, they need to get a brain and a spinal cord. So they go down and they lie to a random dementia patient at the hospital while posing as an organ donor transfer committee, okay? So they like tell this crazy story and like they go back and forth and like Pim has to lie or whatever and they feel really bad about it. And then they go into the next room where they're supposed to deliver these parts to save somebody. And it turns out it's actually not a sick child at all. It's actually just Mr. Frog. That is an insane episode of Smiling Friends that has been concocted in my mind.
However, after we finished our 5th show in November of 2022, I spoke with my family about all the good we were doing, and I really wanted to get a representative from one of our charity partners to come and speak.
It's like, hi, hello, and then all of a sudden you just see like the horror on Charlie and Pip. Oh,
at Indieland 2023. Only then did I learn that the Open Hand Foundation had never made a contribution since its founding, and there were no official partners. All the money was sitting there, untouched and accounted for, ready to be donated. But at the time, there was a massive disagreement between myself and my...
People scam sick cancer patients all the time. Yeah, it reminds me of, I don't know if they ever did this on any of the shows that I specifically watched. I watched like a lot of The Resident, I watched a lot of House, but it just feels skeevy going in there trying to like... Because there are some episodes where they do it for the greater good, right? They send in like, like the blonde-haired girl or whatever, and she's like, we really need your body parts or something. And it's like it's a fucking family that doesn't want to take their wife or daughter off of Like their wife or daughter's completely fucking brain dead. They're like, well, you could really save lives if you let your wife fucking die. It's not like she's gonna wake up anyway. It just feels gross. It feels really gross to like try to like not force that on somebody, but to then like emotionally manipulate them, saying like we got like a sick girl in the other room. I think that's like fucking illegal, right? I don't even think you can do that, but obviously in these doctor shows, they don't like they'll do it anyway because that's like the drama, right? Yeah, like you got like a patient on life support that's not waking up, and then you got like some blonde doctor or like some fucking dickhead who's like, yeah, fucking. I think it was like, wasn't it like the fat girl on House, whatever, was dead, and he's like, your wife's not waking up, and even if she did, like it's like it's not gonna be her. This fucking child down the hall needs her fucking heart or something.
Family.
Yeah.
I personally thought it was important that the money be
We need the medicine drug.
donated right away.
House.
Meanwhile, my family's perspective was very different than mine. They had been negotiating with several organizations to establish contracts to take a bulk sum of money as a restricted donation. These conversations revealed that many of these potential organizations were happy to take the money, but didn't want to track what they saw as a low sum compared to the 6 to 7 figure amounts they were used to receiving from mostly corporate interest.
All right, hold on, wait. The core problem. So this part specifically here is addressing Karl Jobst and Mutahar. And I think after that, is this the only Karl Jobst and Mutahar section? Yeah. So this is the main thing that I think my audience will be interested in.
However, after we finished our 5th show in November of 2022, I spoke with my family about all the good we were doing, and I really wanted to get a representative from one of our charity partners.
Dude, the only downside with the scripting of the video is it sounds like, it just sounds fake. After the end of our event, we all gathered around and smiled and held hands and talked about all of the good things that we have done in our charitable endeavors.
To come and speak at Indieland 2023. Only then did I learn that the Open Hand Foundation had never made a contribution since its founding, and there were no...
What? So wait, he found out that a decade worth of charity had never actually... So he found out when everybody else found out, is what he's claiming now.
No official partners. All the money
Hey,
was...
I just wanted to talk about all the good stuff we did. What? Good stuff? What are you talking about? Good stuff. Look at all the money we've made for charity. We're gonna do something with that eventually.
Sitting there...
He found out a year before. Yeah, I feel like he knew longer, but...
Untouched and...
Again, I'm not going to sit here and fact check this entire thing. I'll tell you the Spark Notes. Karl Jobst is going to be responding to this. I am going to watch that one too. So I'm not taking him at his word. I'm going to be reasonably skeptical, but I'm also not going to be able to regurgitate every argument from 2023. Like right now in this exact moment. So obviously we'll correct it as these things continue to get pushed.
Accounted for, ready to be donated.
No, he found out a year before everyone found out about it? Okay.
But at the time, there was a massive disagreement between myself and my family.
And you know what else is massive?
Dude.
Thought it was important that the money be donated right away. Meanwhile, my family's perspective was very different than mine.
Meanwhile, my family was fucking stupid. And is now why the DOJ is fucking investigating us for fraud. So he's throwing his family hard under the bus here. Is that what's happening?
They've been negotiating with several organizations to establish contracts to take a bulk sum of money as a restricted donation. These conversations revealed that many of these potential organizations were happy to take the money, but didn't want to track what they saw as a low sum compared to the 6 to 7 figure amounts they were used to receiving from mostly corporate interest groups. After a lot of tough conversations over the years, my family...
Bro, at some point, that's all well and good. That's like, okay, a year's worth of dilly-dallying, but you've got to, like, make a fucking decision, right? Well, why are you still doing charity events if you can't get rid of this money? Like, this is insane.
Family settled on a goal of raising $1 million before donating, hoping that this would be a massive milestone that would help organizations to take the foundation way more seriously. But I didn't know about any of this, and I didn't care. I wanted it to go to a reputable charity that would do great things with it right away. That means for the...
It's so crazy that this guy just made a completely different video if these were all of his positions, right? Like, his first video was so fucking terrible. But, like, thankfully now, after 2 years of self-reflection, he has all the correct takes. At least so far.
Next 12 months, I knew about the money not being donated and was having constant conversations to get it to the right place, trying to repair...
Thank you! Completely new lie.
Keffels appreciated the shout out. You're in luck, Nicholas. I got paid today and I love House MD. The episode plot was a dying, dead Mont's wife had a heart for a really old guy and House used the granddaughter of the dude to guilt him to give up the heart.
Oh,
Honeybee,
yeah.
honeybee, honeybee, honeybee,
Thank
honeybee,
you.
honeybee.
This video is also terrible. Well, at least he sounds sincere.
Relationships and negotiate in good faith with several different potential.
Yeah, this guy took money from people who had to have and watch their loved ones turn into people who they didn't know anymore and sat on it for years. You know what's actually crazy? Can I play this one more time? Again, I understand we just went on a crazy tangent here about Mr. Frog eating people's families and stuff. But for like a brief second, I want to hear this one more time.
We were told that her body parts were pretty much useless by a staff of completely different people that we didn't even know anymore. It made my family feel like we had just given away my mom's body parts for nothing, with the contribution feeling more like a feel-good courtesy than a worthwhile sacrifice.
I imagine he's going to wrap this around and admit this is true later, but my understanding of what he just said is exactly what his audience felt like when they found out their, in some cases, thousands of dollars of contribution to charity didn't go where they expected it to go. So maybe you understand the plight of your viewers, because ultimately, yeah, it does suck because it's your mother and it's obviously a huge fucking boon on you, probably more personal than anybody else here. But what was done to you by those people is exactly what you did to everybody else. That's why it's so bad. So it's like, yeah, this is a really sad sob story, and I'm really sad to hear about it. But you have literally done this to everybody else in this fucking, like, to all of these people who donated to your charity for a fucking decade. Yeah.
Brewing for several years. However, even at this point, that I was in way over my head. I had just lost my job at G4, and
I don't care. I don't give a fuck if you lost your job.
To get it to the right place, trying to repair relationships.
You found out that they hadn't donated a dime to charity from all the money that was just sitting there, like, in your fucking account.
And negotiating
because your fucking parents care more about PR.
Good faith with several.
Well, have they considered the PR about like how bad it would look if they found out that they never donated any of the money to charity and they're sitting in an account?
Several different potential benefactors. Since it was now up to me to get this money donated, I needed to stay on the board of directors for open hand, at least until the donation was officially made. It was around this point that I realized that I was in way over my head. I had just lost my job at G4, and finances were a complete mess all around for myself and my company. I was scrambling to get the Completionist restructured with new ideas and a new tone, and I was practically traveling or doing.
I don't give a fuck, dude. I don't give a fuck. Do whatever it takes to go public. Fucking unironically bash your family. This is your entire livelihood. This is your fucking life. This is whatever fucking part of your family that still wants to like do the right thing. That's also getting fucking torched over this because they're all going to get viewed as the same anyway when everyone finds out.
Can I say something to you, Nick? I really like you.
Bro, your family is fucking this up. You need to speak out. Yeah.
Doing some work event almost every single week, almost the entire year. But everything was up in the air. And
like, you know why my policy is like you don't come and tell me illegal things on Discord calls and like that, like if you do that I'll leak your phone call. Like, you know why that's my policy, right? It's not because like it's always easy to, and again, I've exposed people for way less, obviously, but it's not always easy to expose people. But if you say something illegal, now I have to do that, right? Now I have to come forward and share that information. Like your right to privacy, the minute you tell me that you've committed a crime in like a Discord call, even if you're a friend or something, is like completely revoked at that point. Like you shouldn't expect privacy from me in that regard. This is kind of the policy that you have to have when your family tells you that a decade's worth of charity money is sitting in an account and, well, we don't know what to do with it right now. And again, it's crazy this guy didn't give a fuck enough to even know about this for years. Like it just had never come up in conversation that they just didn't donate any of the money. Like you were just doing that. You did Indieland how many, like 5 times and you just didn't know? Okay. Well, that tells me how much you care about charity then.
All of it was on me, all at once. And on top of all this was the news that I now had to...
Yeah, staying silent implicates you. That's another thing. Like, even if you don't care about the cause, you are now implicated in this, and your reputation should matter.
Fix a problem that had been unknowingly brewing for several years. However, even at this point, I couldn't just do whatever I wanted. And this is where the real conflict started. I tried my best to express how upset I was, how upset all of you would rightfully be, and that this could cost me and so many people who worked with me everything we had created and built together.
Bro, this is like when the Call of Duty community manager came out and they really hated when they put like Dead Man's Hand in the game or nerfed everyone's favorite gun. It's like, well, I went out there and I tried to tell everybody I was upset as everybody else. It's like, bro, you're the face of this organization. Yeah, you're going to take the brunt of this. You can't come out and be like, yeah, I'm just as mad as you are. Bitch, you are the guy. David Vonderhaar. Nobody's looking at you with a smile, okay?
And I was simply brushed aside. I had learned the hard way that the charity world moves at a glacial pace, and I've been going around touting
Oh, it's all charities that move at a glacial pace, dude. Dude, entire decades, they just refuse this money.
all these organizations and all the good we'll be doing for many years, only for all of it to be a bunch of empty promises. Even after I stepped up, my best effort
Nicholas,
Thank you!
the goat.
Appreciate it.
I appreciate that.
to donate as fast as possible would never be good enough, as every decision I wanted to make now had to be approved by a long list of people.
It's crazy, though, because as soon as you got bullied, it immediately got donated. You know how crazy that is? Isn't that crazy?
both the open
Like, even because I think that Karl went completely over the board or whatever based off the stuff that I've seen now. And Mutahar's videos weren't perfect either. Like, there were a lot of issues with those. In hindsight, I can absolutely admit those things, right? But, like, they're probably... Like, it's not like an Ethan Klein situation. They are directly responsible for you moving that money. It's not like, I made Ethan Klein donate money to the COVID people. COVID people or whatever. No, they literally made you donate that money. And anything you say, I will not believe.
hand side and the potential benefactors that I have been speaking with. So I feel that some context on my family might be helpful right here. I'm the youngest of 5 in a first...
I mean, yeah, the government was looking into the case. I don't understand what that's supposed to be questioning. If you're just going to throw the money in because a couple of YouTubers exposed you and you had a really bad phone call, I don't know if you really get to be... Like, I can't look at that and go, oh, what a cool altruistic thing you did. Oh, I'm going to... Oh, wow, dude, the money finally got sent out, dude. I'm really happy that happened for you. It's like, no, this is... You got bullied into doing this. You didn't even want to. At least not the way that it actually went down. You don't get points for that.
Generation Lebanese immigrant household. My dad has always...
Anissa?
I'm the youngest of 5 in a first generation Lebanese immigrant household. My dad...
Who cares? This is called the Karl, Jobst, and Mutahar section. It's just a bunch of, like... Is this Ellis Island?
Dad has always loomed large in every aspect of my life, and that absolutely extended to my own experiences with the open...
Nick, you're saying the bullying got him to donate? Are you fucking retarded? Where do you think the government came from? Yeah, Mutahar and Karl were calling for this guy to have the fucking FBI investigate him. So even if that's your argument, it's still contributing.
Hand Foundation, and at times, even my own business.
Alright, I'll see you next segment. Holy shit, dude.
The expectations were that I should have been an engineer, or I should have been a lawyer.
Yeah, you should have been an engineer. Yeah, I mean, to be clear, you could have just been one. Yeah.
Instead, I'm a video producer who plays video games on the internet for a living. If you ever watched the Completionist live show from a few
you
years
could just decide you're an engineer right now, apparently. That's like the line.
ago, then all of this should sound pretty familiar to you. I did not have the final call on any major decisions when it came to the open hand and its finances. I was one of many people in charge. To my family, I was seen as the video game guy, not the business guy or the charity guy. Regardless, the outcomes were absolutely my responsibility, because all of you at home donated your hard-earned money and time and did so with your trust in me in mind. So when I learned the truth...
And then you turned around and said that the body parts didn't matter and they probably wouldn't be used for anything. And they're going to just hastily end up somewhere and get discarded.
I made it my goal that no matter what happened, the money had to get donated. There was no other...
Again, this should have been your position when you found out, but thankfully you did it when people found out about it, I guess.
outcome that I would allow. And that's where the real nasty core to all of this is. Nobody embezzled or touched any money, no crime was committed or covered up here, and the results of the Department of Justice's investigation will hopefully one day be proof of this. The decision to wait to donate until the foundation raised $1 million, along with the struggle of figuring out why that was necessary in the first place.
Dude, the 600,000 was just sitting there while Jake Doolittle got his 12th knee surgery. True.
Absolutely been communicated with all of you. The Open Hand Foundation and myself especially should have been more transparent with its struggles and its goals, period. A week after Indieland 2023 had wrapped up, and before I could get back to the donation efforts and conversations I was having, my heart stopped when I saw an email to the Open Hand Foundation came from a one Karl Jobst. I'm very familiar with
Dude, the Prowler theme song from fucking Spider-Man started playing. That's so funny.
Karl's work, as he had been known at the time to be a groundbreaking creator.
Dude, at the time! He just said at the time, bro.
When I saw an email to the Open Hand Foundation came from a one Karl Jobst. I'm very familiar with Karl's work, as he had been known at the time to be a groundbreaking creator that claimed to take down cheaters, liars, and scammers. And I knew what was coming next. A few days later, on November 10th, I received...
Dude, I knew it. He's acting like he had the fucking reins on the situation, like he didn't call and fucking spill his guts to Mutahar and Karl in the most awkward, funny way possible. Again, this is the downside to scripting.
A message from another creator, Mutahar and Us, also known as Some Ordinary Gamers. I respected and trusted Mutahar, so when he asked if I wanted to hop on a Discord call to talk about a discrepancy with some of the Open Hand Foundation's...
We got tipped off about a discrepancy with you guys' Open Hand charity. I just want to run some of the public documents with you and get your side of the story. Do a due diligence here.
Publicly available documents. I agreed, thinking, hey, you know what? Maybe we could chat this out and clear the air. No problem. Mutahar never once asked about the laws or regulations that Karl had asked about, so I had no reason to think they were collaborating together, especially since they had no prior history together online.
I'm so fucking confused. Did you get stealthed? Was Karl just in the call when you got there? I had no idea they were collaborating. You talked to them at the same time, didn't you?
I hopped on the call, assuming that this would just be the two of us, until my surprise, I saw Karl join.
Why did you stay? So anyways, I just did the interview anyway. Also, if he was known as like a video game cheating expert with like high amounts of credibility, why would you be scared of Karl being in there?
The rest of what's publicly available to
Dude, Karl stealthed him.
all of you is essentially me having a panic attack while trying to be transparent with two creators I respect.
Dude, just hang up. Like, shut the fuck up, dude. Get out of the call. Oh my god, bro. I hate these fucking... I don't hate gaming YouTubers. I hate gaming YouTubers when they do drama. They're all fucking slimy, slippery pieces of shit. Just hang up, bro. You don't have to stay.
All at the behest of throwing my friends and family under several buses.
Yeah, they kept... Wait, whoa.
I saw the headlines coming, and I spiraled, losing control of everything. I did my best to reiterate my family's infighting, the struggles with finding a donor for a restricted donation, and that no matter what was going to happen, all the money was accounted for and ready to be donated. And they even acknowledged that there was no evidence of embezzlement and that it's not even what they were asking about. So it gave me some hope that this whole thing could be recovered in some way.
I'm keeping it to the charity and like the money and why it hasn't moved. I won't personally.
And I'm here talking about your father and his golf tournaments.
Be mentioning anybody family related.
I don't know. What the fuck was that? That was not Karl Jobst. It sounded like I was fucking like Jace from the Ginyu Force.
The personal.
I'm from Space Australia.
Hell that you honestly have to go through. That's like a fucking no-no for me personally. On my end, and I'm sure on Karl's end, that's something that obviously I think we can abide by. That's just an ethics thing for any journalist, really. The very big silver lining is the money is there, according to every PP filing that I've seen. It can all be like done right, you know. This isn't a situation of actual embezzlement or, you know, money being moved to the fucking Cayman Islands or some cryptocurrency offshore. This is a situation that can be rectified for very positive sakes. But yeah.
I was terrified and I should have kept my mouth shut. But some part of me believed that if I was honest right from the get-go, maybe I could get out ahead.
Didn't you like threaten to sue them like right after this? Again, like this guy is... We're getting it from the perspective of the loser here, so I don't know.
Of this, and it could end up just being more of a cautionary situation for people to know. 3 days later, Monday, November the 13th, Mutahar and Karl released their videos, and the story was broken. It made donating even more important, but even more difficult due to the new online reputation of the Open Hand Foundation and myself. Many of these organizations...
It's weird to see Mutahar kind of be the shark here, where he kind of... like, he's not the shark. He's the guy who gets you in the room with the shark. Oh, fuck, I was the shark. Oh my god, that's so funny. So Mutahar would just get you in the door, and then he brought somebody else on to ask all the fucking brutal questions. That's why he leaves the call with me and Max, and leaves me to go talk to Max alone, and I got all the good clips. This was his play. He was like the guppy, and then he brings the shark into the call to do all the dirty work. That's so funny. He brings himself in as bait and acts really nice, and then he brings in like a guy who's willing to scalp you to do the dirty work for him. I literally was Karl. That's crazy.
Nations we'd been speaking with suddenly wanted nothing to do with us, legally informing us to keep our distance, and the situation quickly became desperate. Thankfully, my brother and I were able to secure a meeting with AFTD the very next day. And by November 29th of 2023,
Muta's not that smart, or he would have sat back. He did sit back. Karl Jobst made like significantly more, not egregious, what's the right word? He made significantly more poignant arguments. Like he started saying things that were, he took more risks. Mutahar was calculated where like the worst parts of his videos, I guess, could be like, he didn't go full hog. Karl Jobst just started fucking saying shit. In hindsight, Karl's videos aged significantly worse.
Became desperate. Thankfully, my brother and I were able to secure a meeting with AFTD the very next day. And by November 29th of 2023, the Association of Frontotemporal Dementia received $600,000 from the
Like this debate happens, and then all of a sudden all the money got donated.
Open Hand Foundation. Soon after this donation was...
And look, they got pressed too, didn't they? Or is it from their own website? That's even funnier.
600...
No, AFTD... Wait, they literally... Dude, AFTD is pleased to announce that we've gotten a gift. Dude, their whole thing is like, these guys won't publish these donations. They need it for the publicity. It's for the good of the charity. We're waiting to get $1 million. And then in like 6 hours, they're able to get this shit printed from this fucking organization, from AFTD. That's exactly what they were looking for. Am I wrong? I banned Smaggle, so he can't tell me, but... Is this not what they were apparently searching for a decade?
$100,000 from the Open Hand Foundation. Soon after this donation was made, I resigned from my role on the board of directors, ending my relationship with my family's efforts in the Open Hand Foundation. The money that remained in the Open Hands account was intended to cover any future operating expenses or potential legal fees. That would prove to be important since the very next...
You're right, it made news. I mean, maybe it only made news because of the controversy, so maybe that could be it. But it seems like they got the fucking press they wanted off of that thing from the foundation, right? His argument was, I'm pretty sure, we can go back, 1424. What was his argument? 1424, right? That's where we are. Let's see, it would be publish? No. Triple digit. 6 digit? What's a good word? Oh fuck. He didn't get banned. I timed him out. Because he was like fucking interrupting the whole segment. Why did he say? Oh yeah, this is it.
Track what they saw as a potential organ money as a restricted donation. These conversations revealed that many of these potential organizations were happy to take the money, but didn't want to track what they saw as a low sum.
What do they mean by track? Is track like...
compared to the 6 to 7 figure amounts they were used to receiving.
Because it's possible that... Wait, hold on. So he's talking about donating after every event, and he's saying that they're used to seeing 6 figures. And then magically they donate 6 figures and give them exactly what they wanted, but they were waiting for 7 figures to get like the bigger article. Is that what I'm understanding here off of this? Off these two different clips?
Any future operating expenses.
Because 6 figures, that is 6 figures. They had 6 figures. It was donated as 6 figures.
Expenses or potential legal fees. That would prove to be important since the very next day on November 30th, we received a notice from the California...
He wanted to make sure it was going to research, not some lobbyist pocket. Yeah, but that doesn't take 10 years. And he also didn't want that. He thought the money was being donated. He only found out a year before we did that the money wasn't donated, so I don't believe him. He couldn't possibly have that position if he had thought for fucking 8 years that this money was being donated the entire time, then no, he didn't think that.
California Department of Justice that the Open Hand Foundation was now being investigated. All receipts were...
By tracked, he means an itemized list of where it goes. Understood.
Being sent over, and per legal advice, everyone's mouths were...
Nick, please, it was only 5 years. I apologize.
...be kept shut. The main priority for me was at the very least, the $459,129.90 raised by indie land donors would finally go to the original cause of dementia research in honor of my mother. At this point, my family and I were completely overwhelmed with the noise coming in. And as a result, we brought in several different professionals to help us determine how to even best respond to the ever-growing list of allegations. This is what finally led to my response on December 9th of 2023.
And every time you bring in a PR firm to handle a YouTube drama, all the PR firms are completely out of touch. Or maybe they're just throwing their hands up because they actually can't fix the situation. But it always seems like it's worse that way than just giving like a actual, I guess, well, waiting a little bit and giving an actual answer.
All the information that I'm sharing with you right now and going to be sharing with you, this is what I wanted to say in that video.
Okay, that's better. Octorok said, according to him, the family was struggling to get the charities to accept anything less than $1 million for a restricted donation. Understood.
At the time, the Open Hands Foundation's legal counsel instructed me not to say or share anything because nobody knew what would be relevant to the pending investigation by the government. I was essentially handcuffed from telling the full story because our lawyers instructed me to not address any information.
That didn't start Karl. Wait, hold on. That didn't stop Karl Jobst, right? Dude, Karl's watching this. He's being like, no, you could have... Dude, Karl Jobst is watching this like, what a fucking bitch. I didn't listen to my lawyers. Oh, God. Wait. There is... Yeah, I need this.
Potential investigation by the government. I was essentially handcuffed from telling the full story because our lawyers instructed me to not address any information potentially related to the ongoing investigation.
Handcuffed, you say? That's child's play. My lawyers told me not to say a single thing that I said throughout my entire court case. And what did I do? Lawyers aren't prepared for YouTube drama. They don't know the intricacies of how it's handled, okay?
Which included receipts, potential evidence, and even fully admitting to any and all of my mistakes. When this response video failed to inspire folks to trust and believe in me still, I knew that my support systems were going to go away very quickly. My financial, legal, and community support disappeared overnight, with a lot of my friendships, both personal and professional, going away with it as well. It was clear that I had failed and my options
Harmful Opinions went onto their site. They had restricted donations for even lower amounts, so that claim is completely a lie. Well, it doesn't mean it's a lie. Just because they've given restricted... Does it say that they will accept it? Because that would make it a lie. But would... But does it... Or have they previously accepted those in the past? Because if they accepted something in the past, doesn't mean they would accept this money.
Is a virgin? No, I am not. Why would so many people be Googling that?
If they say they accept that, then yeah.
So many lawyers saying to do the wrong thing. Karl, Completionist, and Destiny. Weird, it's never their fault.
Lawyers don't understand. That's why I had Notch pay for the most expensive ones and ignored everything they had to say.
Extremely limited. Over the course of the next 2 months, almost all the employees at That One Video Gamer were let go, and I spent most of my time clearing out the now defunct old office. I decided to continue making content as a way just to keep the lights on despite my legal silence. But by the summer of 2024, I eventually stopped producing new content altogether. I would go on to disappear from the lives of practically everyone I knew because I thought that in my own self-hating isolation that that's what everyone wanted from me.
I was cool with that.
But in reality, I ended up doing a lot more harm than good by letting everyone else deal with the public responses.
Why? Your family left you out to dry? How did you do more harm? To your reputation, maybe?
And that was extremely selfish of me.
If we just gave you 10 more years, this whole thing would have been over.
Without being able to truly apologize and take 100% full accountability for the things that I was responsible for.
It's so funny because he's saying that now, and obviously the entire intent with this video is to post it alongside the notice that, like, the government has cleared him, right? That the DOJ has investigated it. But then that didn't happen, so he's just like, all right, well, I'm going to do it anyway.
It felt like no one wanted to ever hear from me, let alone trust me ever again.
I mean, no one should trust you ever again, I don't think.
To my moderators, my biggest fans that have rolled with me since day one.
I think you already did this part. I heard this part already, right?
And especially to anyone who ever donated to IndieLand in any way, shape, or form. So many of you trusted me, my words, and my reputation in what I
Yeah, just like you trusted the people when you donated,
stood for. I know a lot of you have left this community, are hurt, and feel betrayed, And were
It probably felt similar to the way that you felt. Not exactly the same, but
even threatened or harassed by people online just for saying that you still believed in me.
sure. Yeah, and it was pretty aggressive if people defended Jirard. They absolutely got steamrolled, even if it was just like a friend.
I put all of you in an unbelievably difficult situation, and for that, I am deeply sorry.
I'm also thinking, like, this is the end of the video, right? Does he do this at the end of every segment? He just apologizes again?
To my past employees, I am so sorry that you've had to endure the sudden hardship of needing to find new employment with a resume that had my name and company insignia on it. You trusted me to manage that one video gamer, and
why did he say insignia? Why didn't he just say my company?
Everything related to our
why did he throw that in?
Brand in a way that would keep us going for the next decade.
Just a reminder, if you see insignia, those are my former employees.
All of you gave me your blood, sweat, and tears.
He looks like he could be J.D. Vance's son.
Some of you for the full 13 years of our existence. I am forever grateful for all of you, and I am so sorry that this ended up becoming the worst possible scenario for all of us. To Fraser Perez-Edon, Patrick Stingline, and Michael Barity.
This is an outro. This is the second outro so far in the video.
Always been my best friends. Your relentless support has always meant the world to me. Indieland and so much of TOVG's ambition and drive was from the three of you.
If I remember correctly, it's through their donation option. There's an unchecked box. Okay. I mean, I think it's obvious, right? That a restricted donation needs to be approved. Whatever they were, like, not all restricted donations are exactly the same. I assume there are some term agreements that have to be put through. And if these guys were extremely aggressive with how they wanted the money to be used, it might have legitimately been less likely that they accepted this money. I have no idea how this works, but I don't think it's just like there's restricted and unrestricted, and it's standard that way when you hit a certain threshold of donation money.
Of you and your dreams. You dreamed as big.
I just realized this. You're right. This guy's literally on his knees begging for help. Look where the bed is. This guy's filming this on his knees begging for us to fucking forgive him. That's so weird.
As I did, if not big.
This guy's, dude, he's on his, either that or he's a midget. Dude, he's 2 feet tall. That's so funny, dude. He's like, this guy's fucking 2 feet tall.
And contributed to our success.
Whoa, what was that?
I will always be in your debt, and my heart is so heavy for how this ruined your life.
Can somebody, like, you ever see when they do those full art, like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon cards? Can somebody make a full art card where this guy's just 2 feet tall? They just draw the rest of the frame. Can AI do that? Or
and
like, or an artist?
Your fellow employees. I will find a way somehow, someday, to reconcile and seek redemption with all of you.
I think the best thing you could possibly do is just never engage with these people again or try to help them in any capacity.
You will allow me to. I want to especially apologize to the Super Beard Brothers.
Dude, could you imagine? He's just like, I want to make this right. That's why I purchased the name Creator Clash, and we'll be hosting a boxing event on November 15th, 2026. Dude, that would, unironically, that's the end of this video. The end of this video is Jirard the Completionist announcing that he has purchased the domain and the rights to Creator Clash, and he's going to be making this right in the ring.
Scary Game Squad, the Friends Per Second podcast, and all of the guests and indie game developers that appeared at Indieland for the long road of chaos.
Dude, if the YouTube drama scriptwriters were truly cooking, this would have come back around to EHD.
Had to endure and will continue to endure because of all of this. I don't expect forgiveness from anyone who watches this, but I do want all of you to know that I am doing everything in my power to make it right.
Dude, Indieland was the Astro World of charity. Oh God, why? Why?
And on that note, I do want to talk a little bit about the progress update on AFTD's fight against dementia and how all the money you all donated is helping real people.
Okay, so we're going to skip to addressing the false claims.
I do not think that I have gotten over the hardships and the trauma that I've experienced in my life with her and her illness.
Okay, we're going to skip back a little bit. All right, hold on.
I want to reiterate that at the end of the day, I was not trying to use or abuse my power as an influencer, and the intent was always to raise money for charity and never to take any of it.
Yeah, that's wow. You're a great guy. That's awesome, dude. I'm happy for you.
And the intent was always to raise money for charity and never to take any of it.
Okay, dude. Yeah, that's great. Thank you. I appreciate that.
The memory and legacy of my mother is one of the most important things to me.
Oh, God. Dude, you can't just keep swinging your... Okay.
She always taught me to do.
Listen, I'm being really pessimistic right now, and this I understand if people are gonna get mad at that, but it's like, dude, I get it. It is in his mother is relevant to the story, but like, fuck me, dude. You can't be out here being like, here, I'm making a plea to my credibility, like a plea to my intentions, and then just swing your mother back at everybody. I don't know, it leaves me like a really fucking sour taste in my mouth. I imagine that's probably, if this is true, if he's telling the truth, that probably is his driving factor, but I feel like that's like something that when you scripted this, you shouldn't have said.
Donate and hopefully start to rebuild some of the trust. Donors, in the end, if you donated to Indieland, your money...
This is another outro. This is a third outro for this video.
Given that this amount was so much smaller than the last donation, they asked to not have any big press releases around this time. Even though I'm not a part of the Open Hand anymore, it makes me so happy to know that the foundation is continuing to donate and hopefully start to rebuild some of the trust. Donors, in the end, if you donated to Indieland...
He said this, this is the third time he's saying this.
Your money went to charity and only charity. That was the promise. That was the goal.
Yeah, after you got bullied, and after you got dragged into a car, after you got dragged under the bus by Karl Jobst, dude. Something finally happened, yeah.
And we got there. I want to reiterate that at the end of the day...
Dude, he just said at the end of the day, 20 minutes into a 45-minute video. It's insane. It's insane. Dude, the video just doesn't end. He just keeps talking. This is like a fucking skit.
I was not trying to use or abuse my power as an influencer, and the intent was always to raise money for charity and never to take any of it. The memory and legacy of my mother...
Dude, this sucks. This sounds like shit, dude. This sounds horrible. I'm sorry. Again, this could be completely accurate, but it's like, hey guys, all the money went to charity. I'm not going to give you any more details. Also, the intent was always to send the money to charity. Also, my dead mom. I don't... Dude, listen, maybe to somebody a bit weaker... maybe to somebody a bit more gullible, but I've heard this fucking story 50,000 times. I'm not getting the appeal. I don't feel bad.
Is one of the most important things
I'm not being blinded by feel bad. I'm going to tell you how it is. It doesn't sound good.
To me. And truly to this day, despite her passing, I do not think that I have
Apparently he starts cooking after this. I think this video sucks so far.
Gotten over the hardships and the trauma that I've experienced in my life with her and her illness. She always taught me to do good. And I was trying to live through her to do good. And I'm still trying.
I don't care. I don't. Give me more information.
That's the idea.
The appeal to your mother is a logical fallacy.
That the Open Hand could quickly just donate the money.
Okay, here.
Verify as many of the allegations.
So this is what I wanted to hear. This is the part that I've been complaining about the entire stream that he's responding to right now.
I recommend watching Nicholas DeOrio's latest video.
Against me as I can that are absolutely false. First, I want to address the idea that the Open Hand could quickly just donate the money the same way you can just click donate on a charity website.
Isn't that what they did, though?
Or Venmo or PayPal a friend.
Almost everyone is screaming at them just to donate the money, which should be pretty easy to do.
One thing
I feel like he's going to say this, but then not draw, like...
you'll see is they'll ask me to gift an amount that is as low as $35.
The short answer is no. If we wrote a check to a charity with no agreements on how that money gets spent or how it's tracked, we would never have received a report detailing how our donors' money was being put to use.
How does every other charity event function without raising $1 million?
It would likely have gone to funding administrative costs like accounting fees and executive salaries. It had to be restricted to make sure that it actually went to dementia research, and negotiating with many of these organizations.
So like every other charity's events are all scammers then?
Is really tough when you aren't donating tens of millions of dollars. To us,
I feel like most of these events are not raising tens of millions, but okay.
$600,000 was an astronomical amount of money, especially for me and my community. But in the charity world, that's small potatoes. There's a ton more to this whole thing, But that's about the best explanation that I can personally provide, because I am not a 501c3 lawyer or accountant. This stuff is unbelievably complex, and it takes time to get it right. Simply put, it was functionally impossible for us to just donate the money in a...
Then how did you donate the money? You donated the money, like, immediately.
Website's donate button section, while being responsible to the people who donated to us and the cause that we represented. That obviously does not excuse the fact that it took far too long to donate, but hopefully this at least explains why.
Dude, it's 10 fucking years, bro. Yeah, I get it. Oh, it's like 6 months later. What the fuck happened? This is a great answer. This shit was like a decade. He was raising money for a decade.
Even once you find a benefactor, it's still a very tedious process. Next, I want to talk about...
Like, you couldn't have scheduled that meeting when you found out a year prior?
Twitch bits and Twitch subscriptions. If you don't know how bits and subs work, viewers can donate money in the form of Twitch bits, as well as subscribe to a Twitch streamer for perks like emotes and private streams.
Oh, this is the allegation. Like, where's the money from the bits?
This money then gets split with Twitch, and the remaining balance then comes to the Twitch streamer at the end of the month. During the weeks of Indieland, all bits and subs that we received on the channel were put towards the donation goal throughout the event. I'm sure many of you have seen a lot of clips and memes at this point over the years where I have said we don't touch any bits or subs. Technically speaking, I do have to interact with them because I have to claim the income that comes to me and my company, and any money that Twitch pays out is income regardless of where it will end up.
So a percentage of that is it's going to his taxes.
Going later on.
So it gets into his account, and then Jirard is making the donation from that money.
However, either myself or my brother, sometimes referencing a meme name during the stream, referencing something that was
that part is essentially on the honor system if he's not publishing that stuff.
Place at the time in the stream, would donate various amounts of money that match what we had received from Twitch viewers in real time up to that point, directly to our Tiltify page. That way, the on-screen totals would match, and no amount would ever get forgotten. If there was any discrepancy at the time, we made sure to donate extra to ensure accuracy, and sometimes that happened a few days after Indieland had wrapped up. We worked hard to figure this process out, as early on we didn't have everything locked in, but by the time we were done, that was our process. No matter what though, dollar for dollar, everything did go to charity. For full transparency...
Okay, this is what I wanted. Okay, so there we go. This is what I wanted. This is what should have been published.
On screen right now, you can see our revenue for Twitch bits and subs for every year of Indieland, and the document containing this data will be available for you down below. $459,129.90 was contributed to the open hand by the fundraising efforts of That One Video Gamer, The Completionist, and Indieland.
Good. Thank you. That's what I wanted.
All of the money.
Why not just disable subs and bits during the stream? Stupid people? I don't know. I would just funnel it all through Tiltify, but maybe there are people who have the gifted Prime subs that way, and you can get like a free Prime sub and not actually pay, but still contribute.
What's the name of the
That's
guy?
the only thing I could possibly think of. You can't just disable bits, can you? Thank you.
Mr. Oreo.
What they couldn't donate because it wasn't enough. But
Incorrect.
His brother donated
I will answer
while the
that.
stream was going.
No. So the issue what you're saying there is that like they couldn't donate to charity, but they could donate during the stream. They were just funneling that into the Tiltify. The Tiltify was the money that was being donated to charity. They were just like contributing that or like adding that to the growing total. So they weren't sending that to like the AFD fucking whatever foundation or whatever. They were just putting it into the pile. They were donating to themselves.
Money raised for Indieland went directly towards that sum, and absolutely none of it was used for either expenses or personal use. This can be corroborated by both our Twitch earnings and our unclaimed expenses year on year. The process of receiving and tracking Twitch bits and subs was a tedious extra layer to Indieland's operations, which is why we encourage viewers eventually over the years to donate directly to the Tiltify campaign instead. That way, donor money was going directly to the open hand, and I don't need to be the middleman at all in this situation. While we're talking expenses, let's address the claim that I used Indieland as a way to earn money from claimed expenses and gain clout from running a prestigious event with big-name celebrities and respected creators.
Of everyone in the entire world who benefits from Indieland, it's Jirard who benefits the most. He gets the Twitch followers, he gets the media attention, he gets to mingle with game developers and celebrities, he gets all the credit.
As it grew, Indieland became increasingly more expensive to produce, most of all in 2022, We made it an attendable live show like we had promised our viewers in 2019. That one video gamer shouldered all expenses. That was my contribution to the cause. The general rule of thumb is that a nonprofit charity should only spend around 25% of its income on expenses. And according to the BBB Wise Giving Alliance,
the Better Business Bureau, okay.
35% is the max amount to be considered.
I'm sorry, there's like not a lot to contribute here because I'm not like a fucking accountant, I guess.
Considered a
Which, by the way, neither is any of these people who are making these exposed videos, so.
Credible charity. The Open Hands
I'm kind of learning here.
Operating costs on average were only 11.85% during the.
So he's arguing, okay, hey, look, you're giving us all this shit right now, but we're actually operating at significantly lower cost than everyone else.
Years that Indieland was being run.
And I'm assuming that Karl's argument to that would be that it would be misleading to not be as forthcoming about that information.
We achieved this because Indieland had no claimed expenses to maximize donor contributions, and more importantly, it was a passion project for our team. This was our idea. This was our vision. This was our dream.
He's saying that should have came from the pocket, that it should have been. Well, it depends on what Jirard was saying. I remember that one of the major issues, and I don't have the clips to pull up right now, and I imagine they'll be circulating, is that Jirard was making a lot of statements during Indieland that didn't really match up with what he was saying in the call with Mutahar and then in his video after. Like, there was a lot of conflicting information, and it seems like he was just kind of fucking shooting from the hip when he was talking about Indieland, which led to a lot of this these claims against him, I guess. Well, put it up. What happened? Come back.
In the now leaked Discord interview conducted by Karl and Mutahar, I had previously mentioned that some expenses were recouped by my company via Twitch revenue or reimbursements from the foundation. It actually turns out that I was wrong. No expenses were ever claimed by my company, either through Open Hand or through the Twitch revenue.
What a fucking idiot, dude. Hey, you know that really stupid thing you guys were bashing me for? It turns out I didn't do that. So
between travel expenses for guests, venue costs for 2022, food and drinks, and all sorts of other extras, that one video gamer spent approximately $88,000 running Indieland across all 6 years. This also doesn't include the tax burden that one video gamer took on by processing Twitch bits and subscriptions, plus the man hours dedicated to preparing for and running these events. That's hundreds.
But then wouldn't this be entirely... Wait...
of hours from 5 full-time employees being paid.
Dude, I'm sorry, but that's not Karl or Mutahar. People in chat are like, Mutahar needs to be sued. He just admitted to something he didn't do. How is that their fault?
Paid to put this event on together year after year. In short, we spent tens
Dude,
of thousands.
This guy issued a false confession. I mean, I don't really know how much yardage I can grant.
Thousands of dollars of my company's own money to run a charity that we did not get paid for. Not for clout, but because we cared. Many employees volunteered additional time to make Indieland happen. And
but like, why do other charities not have this problem? Like, all of these charity events, I've never heard of somebody holding on to this charity money for a decade. Oh, we got to scrape by. 600,000 is not enough. We can't get anything done that we need to get done. Oh, wait, you're calling us out? Okay, we're going to just fucking fling it at somebody immediately. I don't know, dude.
Not make this mandatory for their duties. We were all building this thing together. This event belonged to the staff who put it together, and
well, because they don't care where the money goes. I gotta be honest with you. Again, it depends on how much your mileage varies on like the stuff that he keeps saying about his mom. But like, I hate to be the guy, right? I don't. We're just kind of taking his word that he cares. Like his defense for why it's taking so long is literally, I care too much. Right? It sounds like somebody trying to get a job. What are your flaws? Can you describe to me one of your flaws during a job interview and you turn around and go, I have no flaws, or like, I care too much? What makes you a bad partner? What is your worst quality as a partner? I just care too much. You know, that's literally his defense here, is that me and my family just care way too much, and that's why this whole thing got fucked up.
They did it because they wanted to. They cared immensely about both indie games and victims.
Yeah, he cared so much that he didn't find out until a year before we did that the money was never even donated. He cared so much that he was not knowledgeable for almost the entire duration that money was sitting in the account.
Of dementia. I am insanely proud of my team, and we only succeeded as much as we did because of their unbelievable dedication. I was the face,
Nick
yes,
just started
and
insulting
I did have
viciously
final
on
say.
Twitter.
Nah, F this. He said the charity was good. but couldn't donate the amount because it was too low for 10 years. He is a liar.
Yeah.
But this was our baby, not just mine.
His team cared more than he did and believed in them, and it was all lies. But again, this is like really dirty now, because it's like, well, if he didn't care, then why does he keep saying that he's the one who cared? Because it benefits his reputation to say that. Like, it benefits his reputation to say that he cares so much, and that's why things got fucked up. But he also apparently isn't the one who cared the most, and like didn't even know, and he was kind of a passenger, right? Like, there's a lot of things here that I have issues with. This doesn't really sell me. I'm not being sold here.
I am so proud of the showrunners, producers, editors, and coordinators who actually achieved these goals that they set.
It's like, I couldn't talk about this because of my family, but don't worry. The reason why we didn't spend this money sooner by donating it is because I cared so much that I needed it to go to the proper channels so we can get a detailed, itemized list of exactly how it's being used and make sure it doesn't go to paying the salary of somebody who runs this entire fucking charity, which eventually does, by the way, need to be paid in some capacity. I think that, like, people aren't willing to acknowledge that all these people who work for free all the time, like some of these organizations, do need to have administrative costs. Otherwise, they wouldn't run. But regardless, okay, let's say we want this money we want our money specifically to be the thing that changes history. Okay, cool. But also, you didn't even care enough to know where this money was being sent to, and had just, for like 5 to 7 years, you just assumed that it had already been donated. But it sounds better if you say that you're the one who cared too much, because people are going to look at it and go, oh, Jirard just cares so much. That's why this whole mistake happened. He's actually a very caring individual who really loves his mom. And that's why this whole thing got fucked up. And it was actually a totally innocent thing.
For themselves. As a final note,
Also, as a final note, this is literally another outro. This is our fourth outro at the 30-minute mark. This is insane. This video is just never ending.
To add that many online have noticed that the Open Hand Foundation has entered into a delinquency status with the IRS. Karl Jobst has run with this, saying that this is further proof that Open Hand did not comply with the law. In reality, the Open Hand's legal counsel was instructed by the Department of Justice to withhold their tax filings until the investigation was concluded. This delinquency status is the charity equivalent of an unpaid parking ticket and gets cleared whenever Open Hand files a specific form, which they've already taken care of. As a result, this delinquency status has been corrected and is actually explicit proof that my family and I fully complied with the investigation and truly have nothing to hide. Now, sure. I wish I could end the video right here and move on and not acknowledge my detractors beyond easily debunked numbers and misunderstood compliance laws. Unfortunately,
like, it's like they were so easy. Okay, never mind. Whatever.
Karl and Mutahar have made themselves impossible to ignore. They have inserted themselves into my story, whether I like it or not. Both of them have perpetuated.
I don't like that either. I don't like they inserted themselves into my story. They interviewed you, and you felt like you were being jumped, and you participated in said interview. Like, they couldn't have done what they did to the and actually, like, gotten the damage numbers they got if you didn't willingly participate in a phone call with them. But that's not like a defense of Karl or Mutahar. I just don't like the phrasing that they've inserted themselves into your lives.
Perpetuated and publicized numerous conspiracy theories about myself and my family online, and this has led to irreparable harm to not just myself, but everyone associated with my family, including personal information being leaked, stalking, public harassment, and so much more. It doesn't matter that these guys never explicitly said they believe some of this stuff, nor do
Again, I don't justify doxing, I don't justify harassment or whatever, but, like, do you think it's because Mutahar was mean in his video or Karl were mean in his video, or is it because people thought that you guys, like, didn't donate 10 years worth of charity money and it was just sitting in your account? You don't think that, like, miffed people? And ultimately you did that. That's something that you did do. You weren't transparent about it. Again, there is nothing stopping you when you were doing all these Indie Land things from saying all of this money will be donated at a later date. Right? We're actively, hey guys, it's Indie Land number fucking 3 now. We're still actively looking for someone to send this money to. Like, we're trying to find someone who would allow us the, like, all this stuff that we're finding out post hoc could have been part of the message that was being sent on the stream and reiterated every like, not every moment, but every single like, event. They could have reiterated this position and we would have been fully knowledgeable on it and it wouldn't have caught anybody by surprise. But they operated entirely in silence on this.
Verbally condone bad faith attacks. They discussed and entertained several conspiracies that directly hurt people who had nothing to do with any of this at all. One of the
like if their whole thing was, hey, we need to make this specific donation that's used exactly the way we want it, and unfortunately, while our event was very successful, the goal pales into comparison to what these other organizations are doing. So we're setting a donation goal for $1 million, and we will continue hosting this event until we reach that goal. So we can then make the donation that we truly want to make. Like again, there's a way to do this where you're being forthcoming about it. Nobody gets caught by surprise, and people are donating full well knowing that this money isn't being donated immediately.
The conspiracy claims was that my family donated personal funds to cover up the fact that we secretly stole all of the donor money. Both Mutahar and Karl discussed this as not only a legitimate possibility, but as a likely reality, despite the fact that no hard evidence of embezzlement.
Karl was like fucking hardcore. So I'm like, whatever clip he pulls up is probably gonna be nuclear if he chooses to pull. Okay, Mutahar. That's kind of okay. There's a Karl clip, right? Or is that paused? That's crazy. Are we only getting a Mutahar clip?
Has ever existed.
One of the actual conspiracies for this is one user writes, they just needed a few weeks to secure a loan or liquidate.
Because I remember the Karl ones were so much easier to tackle.
Assets to come up with the money to do this. If this conspiracy theory is true and the California DOJ or the IRS are investigating, that's going to draw some serious eyeballs over to them. So if that money is there, just prove it exists. I get it. You're behind lawyers and PR agencies.
If this was actually true, the DOJ would have caught it instantly and acted.
Wait, what's wrong with this? Hold on. Whoa. Wait, hold on. What is the claim here? He's calling it a conspiracy and saying if this is true.
Embezzlement has ever
just prove the money exists. What's wrong with that?
Existed.
One of the actual conspiracies for this is
he's saying it's a conspiracy. That does not sell what you just put down.
One user writes, they just needed a few weeks to secure a loan or liquidate assets to come up with the money to do this. If this conspiracy theory is true and the California DOJ or the IRS are investigating, that's going to draw some serious...
How hard did he load this clip? I feel like you could find a good Karl clip.
Explicitly said they believe some of this stuff, nor do they verbally condone bad faith attacks. They discussed and entertained several conspiracies that directly hurt people who had nothing to do with any of this.
Oh, I'm sorry. They speculated on public information? Is that like not allowed? Especially if you're like, they're speculating on it. They're not doing it in bad, like it's, I mean, it wasn't even bad faith in the clip that you just showed.
To secure a loan or liquidate.
I'm sorry that hurt you. Maybe you guys should have donated the money in the last decade.
Assets to come up with the money to do this. If this conspiracy theory is true and the California DOJ or the IRS are investigating, that's going to draw...
Look, I don't like Mutahar, blah, 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 blah. I would say this exact same thing in the video.
Some serious eyeballs over to them. So if that money is there, just prove it exists. I get it. You're behind lawyers and PR agencies.
If this was actually true, the DOJ would have caught it instantly and acted accordingly. 501c3 charities in California are extremely strict and are under much tighter supervision than most other states in the US. An even more outrageous conspiracy tries to allege that my dad poisoned my mom in order to not...
Wait, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Not just worsen her condition, but maybe even cause her diagnosis in the first place.
Dude, your dad can't, dude, wait, oh god. You see, this is why, bro. This is why Karl is significantly easier of a target, dude. Look at this.
Worsen her condition, but maybe even cause her diagnosis.
Dude, the worst clip of Mutahar that he could pull up is him entertaining a conspiracy and saying all of the correct things. And then all of a sudden they cut it to fucking Karl Jobst, so this is what he was doing.
In order to not just worsen her condition, but maybe even cause her diagnosis in the first place. These were particularly nasty conspiracies that I wanted to address in my initial response video from December of 2023, where I shared my mom's autopsy report to prove that yes, she did live and die with frontotemporal dementia. Some people were a little confused about
Dude, Boogie was like, I'm sorry, I'm not posting mine.
About this, and were extremely upset that I used
but
my
that's the thing, right? We're like showing, again, I think that Karl looks infinitely worse than Mutahar in the comments that he was making.
Death certificate in that way that I did. But seeing all these accusations that were swirling around me, even the truth of my mom's disorder was now officially being questioned. Now there's one...
And again, like, that's such an easy thing to, like... It depends. What was the context of what Karl was saying? If he was saying it as a joke, it didn't look like a joke, but I don't know what the other messages around it were. I think you can joke about stuff like that in your Discord server among fucking viewers and stuff. I think you probably can, as much as people are going to cry when I say that. But if you're, like, alleging something there, like, I don't know. If you're thinking that's, like, an actual legitimate possibility, you're probably, like, a psychopath, I think.
More thing that I want to get ahead of here. Just a couple years before my mom passed away, my dad started dating his now current wife while still being married to my mom.
Oh my god, dude, he's a... Dude,
When you're committed to caring for someone with dementia for over a decade...
Is he gonna defend his mom? Like, his mom getting cheated on in her dying years?
Life gets extremely complicated.
So he just started plowing the fucking... Dude, so anyways, my dad just started plowing.
My mom was at least 10 years into getting sick, and she was barely communicative at this point. My dad somehow found love at his senior age with an amazing woman who would go on to help our family.
She was so amazing. She fucked the shit out of my dad while he was caring for my fucking dying mother.
Take care of my mom well into her final days. I should not have to explain what I feel is no one's business but my family's. Unfortunately, there's Discord receipts of Karl stating that this was the last bit of family stuff that he was holding back, presumably until I decided to respond again.
Dude, I can't, bro. This is the dad with his mistress at the golf tournament in 2012, a year before the mother died.
I just saw Keffel's tweet. On
and the mistress became one of the board members of the Open Hand Foundation. Dude, Karl is insane. Karl is fucking crazy, dude. It's so funny. The reason the golf tournament stuff, I think, is like, dude, I don't know.
Go on to help our family take care of my mom well into her final days.
I don't think that, I'll even say, I don't know if Jirard had to do that. Does anyone think that Jirard needed to, I don't think any people, I've never seen those messages from Karl Jobst. Ever. Like, I'm watching this I watch every piece of content I put about this controversy when this happened. I don't think that Jirard had to explain that his fucking parents, like, had a messy end of life scenario here. I don't think that was necessary. I mean, he could if he wanted to, if it really bothered him. I'm not saying that he shouldn't. But, like, I don't know if Karl forced his open hand on that one. Yeah, I think that was more of a, like, fuck you, Karl thing than it was, like, I've been forced to tell this embarrassing story. Please stop bullying me.
I should not have to explain what I feel is no one's business but my family.
I don't think you had to explain that.
Unfortunately, there's Discord receipts of Karl stating that this was the last bit of family stuff that he was holding back, presumably until I decided to respond again, repeatedly referring to my stepmom as a mistress in my dad's supposed affair.
Dude, the Open Marriage Foundation.
Considering he used this exact tactic against...
Like, is he gonna cry like, oh, yeah, I brought this up and this YouTuber's laughing at my dad's fucking mistress.
Against Billy Mitchell.
It's like, well, yeah, now...
supposed affair. Considering he used this exact tactic against Billy Mitchell, accusing his current wife of being nothing but a mistress in Billy's alleged affair.
True! Wait, true!
I have no doubt in my mind that Karl would and might still try and use...
Well, yeah, he went after the golf tournament. That's kind of the same as I'm going after the hot sauce. Well, this time, Billy, if he comes for the hot sauce, he's coming for both of us.
This against me in the future.
The very next week, he applied to marry...
Karl did unfollow me on Twitter, unsurprisingly.
...his mistress of many years. So that's why Billy lies about his marriage. God. Because the truth is that...
Billy just completely fucking denies this. Categorically denies this. This is a crazy thing to put in your response video.
...had his children out of wedlock to a mistress, and that just doesn't sound quite as wholesome.
Do you remember when this guy was like one of the... I would talk about Karl like he's the most respected gaming drama YouTuber. He's currently the best in the business. Dude, do you remember when I used to say shit like that? I feel like such a fucking idiot. But unironically, you can't trust an Australian. That's all I've learned. You cannot trust an Australian.
Myself and my family have long accepted and love who my dad married after my mom passed away.
That's great. I don't give a fuck, dude. Fuck you. Fuck your dad. Fuck your dad's mistress. I don't care. Oh, God. Oh, dude, I can't. Holy shit, bro. Then when he came back and wanted a divorce, his dad said, no, I won't let you unless you see a doctor, because the only reason that you'd want a divorce is if you've got a medical problem. Made her do tests for years until they diagnosed her with dementia. They set up a golf tournament, but the marriage was basically a facade. Whoa!
Doesn't...
Okay, this is crazy. This is crazy. So wait. So hold on. I thought it was, the woman's on a deathbed, so he's cheated on the wife. Karl is alleging that the wife was totally healthy. She got cheated on. He's like, you're crazy. Now you're crazy. And the doctor gave her the dementia thing. Wow. Okay, dude.
No matter how much Karl tries to twist the truth here, there is no grand conspiracy here.
Holy
shit. The truth is that despite
shit.
what they claim, Mutahar and Karl are not journalists, accountants, lawyers, or even engineers.
He won. Right there in that moment, he won. He can't take it away from that's the hardest line drop.
Journalists, accountants, lawyers, or even engineers. They're YouTubers, just like me. That's why they never issued any corrections to this story, despite numerous allegations being thoroughly disproven, even before my own response video came out. Corrections and questions are
Again, Mutahar, I don't think needs to issue a correction to speculation that is clearly labeled as speculation. That's fucking crazy. You can't talk about anything. Oh, my family's been harassed because you pushed this theory. It's like, he says it's a conspiracy theory in the video. He's done nothing wrong there. But I'm sure you could find other clips of Mutahar doing significantly worse stuff. I think he just picked a horrible argument.
As possible, but at no point did either of these two admit that they were wrong.
But Mutahar hasn't cheated on his wife? He should.
About anything they...
Mutahar's father didn't cheat on his... I apologize.
They incorrectly cited the 5% rule for charities to donate every single year, open hands filing status, expenses and contribution totals, or even my own words. These were all things that I tried to address in my response video, and others online had corrected them as well. There were a number of laws, requirements, and so much more that both Karl and Mutahar cited incorrectly, with no corrections to
accounting and YouTube, bro.
This very day. Let's take a step back real quick. Mutahar's first video released on November 13th.
Yeah, I think the only thing I covered on Jirard on this channel is watching accounting for YouTube's video start to completely blow open my third eye on how there is some stuff here that's crazy. All right, let's see this new Mutahar clip. Maybe this is worse.
Real quick. Mutahar's first video released on November 13th. His next upload responding to online criticisms was on November 20th. His third video was on December the 2nd. And a fourth video was then released on December 7th. This time to talk...
And in between, he posted 17 videos saying he's quitting YouTube drama.
Talk about...
Kidding.
Our donation to AFTD. Each and every video, Mutahar told his viewers that the open hand...
Hey, how come you're not doing updates on his sleep paralysis series?
Each and every video, Mutahar told his viewers that the open hand needed to be reported for an audit if you, the viewer, wanted anything to change.
Yeah, you should have been audited. Bro, holy fuck. Yeah, you absolutely should have been audited.
Looking at their golf tournament, looking
yeah,
at
I have no... Dude, if I find... I don't give a fuck. Even knowing everything you're knowing, if I find out the charity is still holding money after almost a decade, I think they should be audited. 100%. A government entity should investigate you to find out if you did anything fucked up with the money. I'm not taking your word for it.
To other places, there is at least...
I think the audit is justified. Especially if they don't find anything. Not just if they don't find anything, blah, blah, blah. No, especially if they don't find anything. It was totally justified.
In my opinion, income or revenue that should be reassessed by an auditing body.
That is until December 9th when I released my response video. In my video...
Your video sucked.
I said that we welcomed an audit, responding to the claim...
Good, so that's fine.
...that we were somehow afraid that an investigation might happen, exposing the books and everything up to everyone.
So you welcomed
What
it.
they don't want is people, especially the authorities, looking into the golf tournament and all of that sponsorship money.
But if you have the money, I don't think it's illogical to show that you have the money and you are willing to donate it. Unless, of course, even if possessing the money after all of this, there are still some serious legal repercussions.
Instead of admitting that, hey, maybe he might have gone too far, Mutahar doubled down, saying that—
But you haven't demonstrated anything. I get this is from your position as your own, like, you're the protagonist of your own story, right? But I can't just take your word for it. I welcome an audit. Okay. I'm sure any bad faith actor in your position would also say exactly the same thing. You know why? An audit's probably coming. You know? What are you going to say? Please don't audit me? You think that would go over well? Yeah, anybody in your position would be like, would either say nothing, or they would go, I welcome an audit. Come check my books. Especially somebody who's completely fucked. It's exactly what they would say. You know?
After all of this, there are still some serious—
This is just like kind of bad faith is like the best interpretation here. And again, I don't know if in the position when you release your response video, if quote unquote good faith was to be awarded.
serious legal repercussions.
instead of admitting that, hey, maybe he might have gone too far.
It's like we don't have the results of the audit. I have no idea if they've gone too far. That's why you needed to be audited. But it turns out you might be okay, which is great.
Mutahar doubled down, saying—
But God help me, if you did take a dime of that money, I would want to know. Yeah, 100%.
that a criminal investigation by the government suddenly doesn't disprove his accusations that we broke the law.
Now, the audit was never the smoking gun during this video.
Okay. All right. Wait, hold on. Hold on. I'll give Jirard. Reel me back in. Might have spoke too soon. Let's hear what he has to say.
That we broke the law.
Now, the audit was never the smoking gun during this video. And you might be like, whoa, what are you talking about, Muta?
This is the exact investigation that Mutahar instructed his viewers would deliver justice if they followed his instructions.
Do you want justice to be delivered? So I'm going to teach you guys how to report this properly. Now, obviously, if you want any agency to look into this, check the state of California.
As for Karl, he actually—
My understanding that was the main thing that they wanted was the money to be set right and the audit to make sure there was nothing else wrong with it. Is that overly charitable? Because that was my memory of it. The main thing is that this money needs to be donated. And if it's not there for any reason, an audit needs to be performed to find out where it is.
actually acknowledges that he doesn't correctly cite any of the
Wait, that's two different videos? Well, that's what he's saying. That was heavily clipped? Okay.
laws that I supposedly broke.
I couldn't give two shits if any of that is illegal or illegal. It would not affect my own moral judgments because I don't base my morals on whether or not a court convicts someone of a crime.
However, instead of admitting that he got anything wrong in his videos, Karl—
By the way, saying that you need to be... Wait, hold on. Okay, so for this argument to make sense, that he quote-unquote got anything wrong in his videos, because Karl might have, right? Mutahar, what we're talking about here, he used allegedly, he's talking about conspiracy theories. Did he ever flat out say that Jirard the Completionist stole the money or took the money? Because I don't remember him doing that, and he's not showing a clip of him saying that. So that would be your win condition. If Mutahar came out and said Jirard pocketed the money in a definitive way, not in a joking manner, not in a manner that lacks context, then if he turns around and says, it wasn't my smoking gun, he looks like shit. But if he's just acknowledging that, saying that this money needs to be donated, we're digging in, we're finding out what's happening to it, I don't necessarily see how that really changes anything. And I don't really like Mutahar. I'll keep saying it, but I mean,
What's
I'm
the
not
name
looking
of
for reasons
the
to
guy
protect him.
from Keemstar Orbiter? Nick Oreo. Mr. Oreo.
Did Jirard use a red joystick when he tried to donate the money? Yeah, Nintendo said it didn't count. That's why the money kept getting bounced back.
conveniently says that he is not a journalist, he's just making entertainment.
The purpose of a YouTube video
Oh, and then he lies in the thing.
is first and
Right, this is about...
foremost to entertain. Because if a video isn't easy to understand or entertaining, people won't watch it and I will get less money.
Accusations of criminal wrongdoing and inexcusable moral character are now a form of entertainment.
Yeah, no, your fucking situation was hilarious. Yeah, watching your fucking family dynamic explode because they didn't donate charity money. It was extremely entertaining. It would be really fucking sad if that entertainment was placed on someone who didn't deserve it, and I would acknowledge that if that's the case. But no, your life was a sitcom for a couple of months. That's the reality. It was absolutely entertaining, yeah.
And should not be taken as fact, despite the fact
Should not be taken as fact is a problem. But the rest of that, like, this is entertainment? Yeah. Everything, dude, I'm talking about the Israel-Palestine war and the concept of Hassan Piker sucking. Yeah, it's fucking entertainment, dude.
Fact that Karl cites himself constantly as an investigative journalist, both in his GoFundMe.
He does do that, so that's a fucking
campaign.
Again, this is another Billy Mitchell W.
On the record in the courtroom in several different cases, and even in one of his most recent videos.
My channel and my investigative work improved dramatically after I got sued.
Despite the best efforts that I put in my initial response video, I was never going to win, no matter what I
By the way, that's even crazier, because after he got sued, he made all those Billy videos.
said. The money got donated, but that was never the true goal. For Karl and Mutahar to succeed, I had to be irredeemable. And nothing I could have legally...
I think that some of the people are going to watch this video, and this is probably going to be hard for him to swallow. I think that some people are still going to walk away from this video saying he's unredeemable. This video does more to tell people and expose people to the fact that Mutahar and Karl kind of suck. And not even really Mutahar. I don't know how bad Mutahar looks in this. I need to kind of see how this video sits, because I don't remember enough information that can tell me why Mutahar is shit here. I don't remember every single thing that was said in every single video. But Karl here, it's like a lot of people are going to learn that Karl sucks and not just related to Billy Mitchell. I think this is more of like a trifecta of like shit people here. I don't really, like, you could pick or choose here. I don't really think any of these people are really awesome dudes.
Provided at the time would have been enough.
Muta looks good based on what was shown here. Yeah, but I'm speaking from the perspective of someone who already didn't like Mutahar. I guess if I come in from a layman's perspective here, if I'm a gaming guy, I'm going to probably side with Jirard, because gaming YouTube viewers are extremely fucking stupid. But if I'm like any like critical drinking, dude. Yeah, dude. Critical drinking. The message. No, if I'm just like any critical thinking drama viewer or whatever, I'm probably looking at this like, oh, okay, Jirard sucks. Karl's like unhinged. And Mutahar, I don't really know. It seems like he got clipped out of context once. That's probably the way that you take that, right? Is that how everyone else is viewing this? Who doesn't already like biasly hate everybody here?
Which I will once again prove.
Like, I don't think there's no winner in this scenario. And again, a lot of the heavy lifting on why Mutahar is a loser is outside drama that's not really related to this. Well, maybe this clip changes everything.
Nothing I could have legally provided at the time would have been enough.
Which I will once again prove in this video that you cannot take Jirard at his word.
I don't think you can take Jirard at his word now.
He is
you shouldn't be taking any of these people at their word.
Proven to be somebody that is deceptive.
But he talked about his mom, dude. Why would he lie?
It was my 16-minute video under the scrutiny of countless legal professionals versus their 8+ hours of sponsored...
Then why didn't you do more? Or do less? Or not call? Like, I'm sorry, I don't feel bad for you because you made a couple of bad decisions in the beginning of this drama that ultimately made your situation far worse. But again, these were your words they were talking about. I mean, they also talked about stuff that wasn't your words, and you have the right to go about that. But it seems like you're kind of just more mad they're covering it.
Conspiracy-based attacks. So, as a recap, yes, I did lie about where the donations were going, knowingly so after Indieland 2022. I try to take responsibility privately.
Dude, I lied about where the donations were going. We're 39 minutes in our 5th fucking outro. Yeah, fuck you, dude. Fuck you. He lied for... Yeah, he fucking did that. Okay, fuck you.
So,
dude, you just made me sit here and go through fucking clips of Mutahar and Karl in your 5th fucking outro, and you're like, yeah, I lied.
As a recap, yes, I did lie about where the donations were going.
This is the intro of the video. I'm gonna fucking... It's not even well poisoning. You're watching the intro of the segment when I post this on my YouTube channel. I'm literally just gonna let this play raw for the intro. Is him just admitting to all fault 39 minutes into the video.
Knowingly so after Indieland 2022. I try to take...
Holy shit!
Conspiracy-based attacks. So, as a recap, yes, I did lie about where the donations were going. Knowingly so after Indieland 2022. I try to take responsibility privately by making sure that the money got donated appropriately, hoping that I can minimize the damage this might do to everyone in my life, keeping this a secret to prevent anyone else from being complicit. In reality, continuing to hide this throughout 2023 only made everything...
Yeah, bro, fuck you! You needed to be audited, bro. Yeah! Oh my god, you're sending me back down. Like, fucking all the highlight reel clips of him lying about where the money was being donated and how much was being contributed. Fuck yeah, you needed to be audited, bro. Holy shit.
Worse.
Yeah, I'm sorry that fucking the Karl Jobst guy cried in his Discord server or something about your fucking parents or whatever. Like, that sucks. You're like, yeah, whatever. Okay. Fuck you!
Because now I was still directly complicit. There was always going to be hell to pay, and I was just being stupid about all of this.
Dude, fuck! This is insane!
I should have just partnered with an organization.
Bro, where was this in the first 5 outros? There's no way this guy just locked this in on the end of the video and no one was... Okay.
And I was just being stupid
At least he didn't fade to black.
About all of this. I should have just partnered with an organization directly, made things right from the beginning, and not cared about restricted donations or where the money was going. I shouldn't have cared? What the fuck?
That just tossed me. Everything I thought I understood about this video I should have cared less. I should have cared less.
But about all of this. I should have just partnered with an organization directly, made things right from the beginning, and not cared about restricted donations or where the money was going.
Oh my God.
I also should not have gone...
Dude, who wrote the end of the video? He just went off script. What happened?
With IndieLand in 2023. The show had taken a life...
Bro, fuck this guy!
...of its own because it finally was...
What? Dude, I just wasted like 2 hours trying to critically... Fuck this guy, bro.
Keemstar Orbiter, Nick Oreo, Mr. Oreo.
What I'm hearing is that Jirard is admitting fault for the IRS audit happening.
Notoriety for all of our team's hard work, and I did not want to hurt or betray everyone that put their...
Look, I think he was balling for some of this video. I think some of this video sucked. I think some of it he was balling for. This is crazy. This is insane.
Blood, sweat, and tears into the show. This was just as important to indie games as it was to charity, and that added...
No, it wasn't! No, it wasn't! What are you fucking talking about? What? No, it wasn't. It was important. It was more important to charity.
Ton of expectations and pressure.
What?
Everyone that put their blood, sweat, and tears into the show. This was just as important to indie games as it was to charity, and that added a ton of expectations.
You gotta talk about how important the video games are, dude. I can't. This is insane.
And pressure. In the end, I made a choice that cost my team their employment and ruined
dude, there's one guy. I'm getting one guy. One guy's like, Nick, you're so wrong on this part. Dude, if you're watching from 38 minutes to 40 minutes and you're like, dude, this guy's spitting right now, I think that you're out of your mind. I think you're actually out of your mind. I think, yeah, you can have issues and disagreements with tons of stuff I said in this. I don't think my reaction, quote unquote, was perfect. I don't think I provided pushback in all the right places, and maybe I was wrong about some things. Dude, this fucking final accountability segment sucks. This is horrendous. If this was the whole video, it would be completely critically panned by everyone who watched it.
Their lives. Not to mention all the residual flack of every indie developer that they received just because...
Imagine if this segment is the whole video. Like this final accountability segment, he just uploaded it as like a 3-minute video. This guy would literally be laughed out of the room.
Their association to me. It was short-sighted and dishonest. I should have come clean as soon as I learned about it and separated myself and the event from my family.
Well, that's really convenient, dude.
Immediately. With all that being said, though, what I did not do was steal, embezzle, or otherwise misappropriate donor funds.
And I'm glad to hear that, but they absolutely had to investigate you.
For anything. Every cent of money donated was always there, waiting to find a benefactor. Any claims of theft, embezzlement, or fraud are categorically false. I also want to apologize to Karl and Mutahar.
Bro, why?
Despite my criticisms, I know what it's like to have your entire life scrutinized by tens of thousands of strangers who just want to see you fail, and nobody deserves that. I know you both wanted this money.
Dude, this is such a sideways one. It's like, bro, I got fucking harassed like crazy through this, and you guys know what it's like, right? And I didn't want that for you guys. So when you guys got me, dude.
I know what it's like to have your entire life scrutinized by tens of thousands of strangers who just want to see you.
Dude, now you're just like me. Dude, it was staged as an apology, but now it's like, it's literally little broing them. It's like, now you know how it feels, piece of shit.
You fail, and nobody deserves that. I know you both wanted this money donated, and you didn't deserve to get blown off just because people liked me. But I'm not interested in fighting some eternal YouTube drama conflict. I just want to come clean. And this is genuinely the soonest.
I think this is the only way he could say it without just straight up coming out and saying, fuck my family, they're retarded. It would have sounded more authentic, but that's the only way I could see Jirard being totally fucking vindicated here. Is like, I was doing this for family, and my family sucks, and my family refused to fucking let me do it, and I couldn't do anything about it. Or I just pretended that it wasn't happening because I didn't want to fucking throw my own family under the bus. And I don't know if they would view that as sincere either, even if he said it like that. But like, I feel like that's the only way that he could be totally good on this, is if he completely just fucking, if his whole family are just pieces of shit.
So I was able to.
That's what he said. He didn't say it like that though. You know, he kind of went around and about like, I'm taking accountability. That we did what we did. I was just being quiet. I didn't want my family to be implicated. But if he turned around and he goes, my family wouldn't budge on this, and they totally fucking sucked.
To do so.
His dad sounds like a real piece of work. Well, they love the mistress. His mistress mother is like fucking.
If you're really
Kino.
interested in understanding whether Karl and Mutahar conducted a responsible and educated investigation,
I don't think that a YouTube thing has to be, well, yeah, maybe responsible. It depends on what you deem responsible. I feel like our mileage on the word responsible would vary, because it seems like his definition of responsible is like the most charitable interpretation of everything he's saying, even when the words that come out of his mouth don't make sense.
There's a great YouTube video out there by a YouTube channel called Accounting in YouTube that breaks down the entire thing. And it.
Wow, bro. Holy shit, dude. Oh my God, that's a plug and a half.
It's made by actual.
Congratulations, Accounting in YouTube.
CPAs who looked at.
You fucking deserve a boost, bro.
Everything that Karl and Mutahar looked at. If this is where my work in charity ends, then so be it. I have participated in dozens of public fundraising events over the years that have nothing to do with the Open Hand Foundation or my family for that matter. And the reason has...
It's like, yeah, I think that you, Anissa, and Ian should be banned from charity. Do I think that Anissa and Ian were malicious in their activity? Do I think that you were malicious in your activity? Regardless, you guys shouldn't do charity, you know? And the answer for them is no. For you, well, I mean, I'll wait to see the report, but I don't know if you were malicious. I think you're just extremely dumb.
It's always been the same each and every single time. Real people need as much help as they can get when faced with life-changing disorders like dementia. I've experienced this whole thing firsthand from the age of 10. It is one of the hardest things I've ever...
Don't throw it, dude, please. Please, no. Please not again.
Had to endure. And I never wanted to defraud anyone in all of this. I just wanted to raise money for charity and help promote indie games. I wanted to elevate the industry as much as I could.
And you failed. Okay, that's the end, right?
Because it's always elevated me.
And you failed. Until now.
Where do we go from here?
I'm going to be hosting Create a Class.
Even if I somehow recover from this controversy, things can never be the same as they once were. Does that mean the Completionist, the show, my channel,
I don't care,
my livelihood?
He's going to come back and play video games. That's what I imagine he's going to say. I don't give a fuck.
Through thick and thin.
I love my audience. I love my audience. I love my audience. Okay, that's the end of the video. After 1 year of silence, I have the opportunity to tell you my complete side of the story about everything that happened with the Open Hand Foundation and IndieLand. I know many of you have been waiting for answers. I know many of you are angry and feel betrayed. You deserve the full truth about what went wrong, why it took so long to donate the money, and what's been happening during my year away from YouTube. This isn't easy to talk about, but I owe it to everyone who supported me and donated to IndieLand over the years. The money did go to charity. All $600,000 was donated to the Association of Front Temporal Lobe Dementia. It was matched to a total of $800,000 that helped over 700 families with dementia. I have the full report showing exactly how your donations made a real difference, but that doesn't excuse the moral failures I made along the way. I lied to you about having charity partners that I didn't know the money hadn't been donated yet. I should have been transparent from the beginning about the struggles that we were... Dude, he puts it in the description, but he waits till 39 minutes to say what happened. Holy fuck, dude. Okay. But that doesn't excuse the moral failures I made along the way. I lied about having charity partners when I didn't know the money hadn't been donated yet. I should have been more transparent from the beginning about the struggles we had finding the right organizations to work with. The video is completely unfiltered and contains... No, it's filtered. What are you talking about? You admit the video is scripted, and then you're calling it unfiltered. The video is filtered. What the fuck? You already said at the beginning of the video? Did I miss that? Maybe it hit like a truck here. Where did he say the word lied? I feel like the word lied needs to be involved in that. Lied. Let's see.
mistakes were still
All right, he did. I'll give him that. I'll give him that.
made by myself and the foundation. The open hand took far too long to donate. We never explained why it took so long until after everyone called us out. And I lied about this for all of Indieland's years, both knowingly in 2023 and unknowingly.
No, okay, it's there. Again, I think it hits harder when you say I literally lied about like the charity, telling like where the money was going. Because saying you lied is one thing. Saying you literally told people that you donated to charities you didn't donate to or whatever, or sent money to specific locations, like that needs to be kind of conveyed. Like I lied to you about having charity partners is different than I lied, but again, yeah, no, that was there. I didn't catch that when I first heard it. Or at least maybe I was like fucking... The video had bored me to the point where it woke me up when I heard it the second time. He's way more honest and blatant at the fucking 39-minute mark. After going through all the reasons why Mutahar and Karl are pieces of shit, I guess. I should have been transparent from the beginning about the struggles we were finding the right thing to work with. The video is completely unfiltered. No, it is filtered and contains everything I can legally share about the Department of Justice investigation, what really happened behind the scenes of my family's charity, the mistakes I made, and the truth about the allegations that have been made against me. Archive of financial records, evidence, and uploads. I'll leave that for an accountant and YouTube to handle. What was removed from this video? What did he cut out? Why is it 46:30? But the video cuts out 30 seconds before that. Nobody puts a timestamp that doesn't load. Did 20 seconds of this video get removed? Or is he just like actually the dumbest YouTuber I've ever seen? I'm not really... Where the fuck? That's weird. He was flipping off the camera for 20 seconds. Just like Mama Max, and he cuts out after uploading. Did you see the community post? Yeah, I did. I'm going to show that next. Don't worry, Mutahar is not an engineer either. He's complete the apology. The post-time skip completionist looked like he trained in Hakai. I came in feeling cynical, but leaving feeling like you came across as genuine. Your apology was real. Which one? He gave like 5. It's not the end unless he completes Donkey Kong Country 2. Yeah, maybe drama slop YouTubers aren't trustworthy. It's like, okay, everything's drama slop now. It's like I'm a gaming YouTuber and I'm mad my YouTuber gets called out. Like the gaming YouTube audience are actually some of the dumbest fucking people on planet Earth. Every single time it happens. As an engineering legend, I accept this apology. True. All right, so here's some other stuff that I wanted to go through. Here's the YouTube drama one. YouTube drama thread is crazy. I didn't think they let titles in there this poignant, but Jirard the Completionist, Khalil makes an apparent apology video. It's an apparent apology video. Nearly 2 years after he did charity fraud. Is crazy that this is still up. Is this not deleted? What is this? Did I just click on an ad? I clicked on an ad. Oops. Promoted tweet. TLDR, who does it's a 45-minute video that ends with Jirard addressing the allegations that were made by some ordinary gamers and Karl Jobst. These videos led to a DOJ investigation on Jirard's charity, with the investigation concluding a while back. Not accurate. It did not conclude. Jirard then apologizes to everyone who had supported him in the past for hiding the truth. From 5:52 to 38:56, he talks about making the contact with Mutahar and Jobst, which includes a Discord call. Finally, last 2 segments are him doing another round and taking accountability. I'll be honest, it's been so long, I'm not sure how much of his response tracks or not. Yeah, that's kind of how I saw this. I moved on from him regardless, but I think the biggest question is, he said he takes a while to make donations, which is fair, but Karl and Muta did talk to Jirard in advance and didn't just drop videos out of nowhere. And then did Jirard not follow up with how they were going after the call, especially when he said he made mistakes talking to them? It did sound like Mutahar was at least open to hearing Jirard out and was more sympathetic to him. Yeah, again, like you're not a good journalist. They literally called him, which I think is more than you have to do to cover this story. The fuck is that? Oh, all right, let it go, bro. It's over. Holy shit, it's been 2 years. I don't care anymore. His explanation makes sense. It just feels too convenient that yeah, this whole video is like, it would be like a fucking EFAP plot contrivance, wouldn't it? Doesn't seem like an apology. It seems like a clearing my name video. Most of the video is good. He still devotes a bit of it to being angry that his charity was reported, which, again, totally justified to report him. And angry at those who brought light to the issue. Some anger is warranted, not at all. So deep down, it's not a great apology. Yeah. Karl Jobst came out with his response saying, "The recent Jirard video is unfortunately full of lies. Again, my next video will be a response. After experiencing my own public backlash, I am sympathetic with what he went through. It truly isn't pleasant. His persistent dishonesty is really baffling, though. I have made plenty of mistakes. There are plenty of things to criticize me for, and I will attempt to own them as much as possible. But for some reason, he felt compelled to straight up lie about things that are easily disproved. So that's crazy. And then Billy Mitchell absolutely fucking annihilates him. Absolutely fucking annihilates him. And completely ratios his tweet by saying, remember, discount code Karl lost. Why doesn't Karl just block him so he can't do this anymore? Holy fuck, that's crazy. Billy just jumps in and annihilates him. I like when he claimed you were spreading conspiracy theories and then used screenshots of you quoting something Jirard said directly as evidence of you supposedly spreading conspiracy theories. You're at the point where your reputation is as bad as Jirard's. Now that Jirard's finally owning up to his mistakes, we are ready to... Who the fuck is we, bro? Who the fuck is we, bro? Jesus. Okay. Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Yeah. And then Billy Mitchell ratios Karl Jobst, which we showed. Karl responds to the completionist. My next video will be a response, so we saw that. So Karl is going to be posting a response to this. We'll check it out as it comes out. Look, I'm willing to be charitable to Karl, obviously. And if Jirard did lie about stuff, it's not like I'm completely 180ing here. I think all these people are kind of shit. So I'm interested to see this. For me, this kind of feels like a shit fire, you know? It's like a garbage fire outside. Like outside of a dump. Like a flaming garbage full of fire is what I'm getting here. So I'm pretty interested to watch that. I'm going to check that out when it comes out. So that's the claims videos full of lies. And I saw, these are the messages about like this is them discussing. Whoa, these are more. Okay. These are additional pieces of context that you can't read because it's so small and there's like no way to do. Is there like a way I can open the image in a new tab? Yeah. Oh, thanks Reddit. You fucking suck. Nice. That's cool, I guess. I don't even... Oh, dude, I have to drag this to my desktop because these people are such assholes with how they take screenshots. Don't they know I'm trying to stream with this? Okay, here. Here we go. Here we go. His mom left with some dude and made... and spent $500,000. Oh my god, I honestly thought that it was peanut butter. His mom was blank. That's what this is about. Yeah, what the fuck? He's paying off the debt. Then came back and wanted a divorce, and his dad said, no, I won't let you unless you see a doctor, because that's the only reason you would want a divorce. Made her do tests for years until they noticed her dementia. They set up a golf tour tournament, but the marriage was basically a facade, because his dad was with another woman before his wife died. And that would bring in new women to the golf tournament that was supposedly in honor of the mother that was dying at the time. Picture of them together. This is the dad with the mistress at the golf tournament, 2012, a year before the mother died. Holy shit, dude. This is his dad with his mistress at the golf tournament a year before the mother died. The mistress became one of the board members of the Open Hand Foundation. I never said cheating. That really depends on the person's morals. Do you know what the definition of the word is? Kinda. The relationship is in some nut job. I never mentioned it or spoke about it. Holy fuck, the completionist just filed a lawsuit against me. Really? 100% serious. This is a lie, right? Like, he didn't actually do that. Me versus Jirard, Creator Clash 3. Make it happen. I haven't worked out over a month. Yeah. Jirard embezzled money. You're acting like I didn't mean what I said. So that's a quote from Karl. Okay. That was a joke. Well, no. Hold on. That was not a joke. He planted that to get fucking dumb fuck lawyer to talk about it, right? Didn't he start... He started talking about Jirard suing him to try to trip up Lus. And then he said as much in his video, didn't he? It was a quote-unquote joke. Like, that last part, yeah, sure. But, like, he was trying to say that Jirard was suing him to try to trip up Lus, I thought. Karl seemingly loves to do this shit. He'll call out someone who's done something legitimately shitty, but then pile on additional false claims that are more personal. Yeah, it seems like a thing. Incredible how all these main people involved, Jobst, Mutahar, and Completionist, are all pieces of shit in their own way. Yeah, I think that's probably the take. Why are people speculating on other people's families? Give this dude's parents some privacy. Sounds like they went through a lot. This is a bit of an odd thing to bring up. This dude stole and lied about charity, but Billy Mitchell sure is cringe that he lied about being the best Donkey Kong player champion, and Karl went too far. Ultimately, like, even if Billy lied about every single thing possible, Karl is still like a huge monstrous piece of shit. Ultimately, it does not fucking matter if Karl or Muta were shitty. It legitimately doesn't matter. Jirard still lied about donating to charity. Well, I mean, it does matter. Yeah. It's oh, dude, this is like when we're talking about the Dr. Disrespect shit all over again, okay? People were saying that it doesn't matter how old the minor was that Dr. Disrespect talked to, because they said 17 is a minor and that makes it bad. I countered with, yes, it absolutely does matter, because would you say that if Dr. Disrespect was talking to a 12-year-old, that was worse? Oh, yeah, you would say that, right? Because it would be worse. So yeah, obviously, if your metric is 17 good, you're probably a fucking freak and an idiot. But if your metric is 17 is bad and 12 is worse, then yeah, no, it is still valuable to get that information, right? In this regard, it's like, ultimately, it doesn't matter if Karl and Muta were shitty. It legitimately doesn't matter. Jirard still lied about donating to charity. It's like, well, if your argument is Jirard is bad, Mutahar and Karl being bad is still worth knowing, right? Like, if Mutahar and Karl are bad, we should probably talk about that. We shouldn't just ignore the facts that are presented in front of us because we like those creators, right? So yeah, I do think it is worth litigating if these people are pieces of shit. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, it's like, well, people can't navigate with bad thing has happened, therefore I must end this conversation abruptly. It's like, no, we could still probably talk about it. I mean, it's fucking YouTube drama at the end of the day. We have time to go through it, I guess. I'm sick of hearing about Karl. I unsubbed after he scammed everyone. I don't know if Karl has committed a legal scam for any entertainment purposes. So why are you posting out of context 2-year-old screen caps? I don't think they were out of context. I mean, I knew what they were, but and then here's the post from Accounting for YouTube, which I think is interesting and I'm willing to check out. And I wonder what you guys think about this. Accounting on YouTube tweeted out, I received an email from Karl Jobst less than a week ago, which is bizarre because the Completionist was releasing this video now. And this post, I think, is predating, right? So apparently a week ago, Karl was like, you fucked up the Completionist video. That's very convenient, right? I received an email from Karl Jobst less than a week ago, reaching out to me in earnest to discuss my video. You could use that argument against Billy Mitchell, the one that I just made. Okay, but here's the issue with that. Here's the major issue with that, is that Billy Mitchell was piled on for years and 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 years with false shit, right? To the point where at that point, it's become like completely comical. Like, they literally nickel and dime this guy for like a decade. Yeah, there are absolutely things to not like about Billy Mitchell. I absolutely 100%. Yeah, okay. But when you grind somebody into the dirt, that's a little different, right? Like, this guy made like 50 fucking videos or something. It felt like watching these Karl Jobst updates, and so many of them turned out to be like inconsequential. So yeah, I do think that there's a bit of a difference between Billy and a difference between like, is Mutahar and Karl bad faith actors, and why that doesn't matter, like why that doesn't take away from the situation. Yeah. So yeah, again, if you want to go after Billy for being litigious, be my guest, 100%. Yeah, I've made those fucking statements myself. But like, yeah, dude, I'm sorry. The damage outweighs the allegation in many cases here. Where'd my music go? I want my music here. There it is. Actually, no, we've done this song for a while. Yeah, this one. I received an email from Karl Jobst less than a week ago, reaching out to me in earnest to discuss my video and how I mischaracterized his accusations in the video, as well as obfuscating what he took issue with in regards to Open Hand Foundation's conduct. While I was, at first, hesitant to have this discussion, I felt like it was prudent to hear him out, and while it wasn't my intention to mischaracterize his claims, it doesn't mean that it couldn't have happened, so I wanted to have a discussion with him to hash that out. Okay. It turns out that he was correct to a degree, and the approach of my video was investigating the claims of embezzlement from the perspective of an accountant, and I approached my research and evidence from the perspective of accounting. After talking to Karl, his claim of embezzlement was founded upon the legal implication of Jirard's claims and solicitations, and had nothing to do with accounting. This was more from the perspective of Indieland, and not the PBD golf event. So in essence, my video was more of an indictment against Mutahar's research and evidence. Karl said that he was going to make a response video to mine and correct the mischaracterizations I made in my video, and I encourage you to watch it. Karl said in our call that there were some errors made as well, and I believe he should be given the opportunity to correct them, as he's granted me an opportunity to understand and correct my own errors. He asked me if I wanted to collaborate on the video with him, and I am still contemplating on whether that would be a good idea or not. I believe that Karl's conclusions regarding the legality of Jirard's claims and solicitations still does not constitute as embezzlement or any misappropriation of money. They hinted at something else instead. This is a fundamental disagreement that him and I have, and I hope we can debate it maturely and gracefully. I also learned during the call that some people were going to his channel or through other avenues to tell him that I somehow exonerated Open Hand. I guess this is my first experience with YouTube, so I shouldn't be too surprised that people did this, but make no mistake, Open Hand is not exonerated from engaging in poor conduct, and nowhere in my video did I state that. There are certainly aspects of Open Hand's conduct that need to be criticized or scrutinized. Do not bother or harass Karl, because him and I have a disagreement that is absurd behavior. Again, I do not know when his video will be out, but I encourage you to watch it. I am happy that Karl took the time to reach out to me and discuss it. I think it's cool to give him the opportunity to engage with this piece of media. I don't know if his video will ever be released now, obviously, because while this was being planned, Jirard responded, so I assume Jirard's video takes precedence over accounting and YouTube, and maybe whatever that video is will probably be a smaller part of whatever Karl inevitably releases. Maybe he's trying to schmooze, but what this tells me, and I think is the best takeaway out of this whole situation, is this guy's a pretty good dude. Listen, I just want to point this out. This guy seems like a pretty fucking good dude. This accounting and YouTube guy, and I'm hoping that that remains true, because this is, like, awesome. I love everything that he said here. Like, he seems totally reasonable. I love the way that he approached it. It seems like he's, like, cautiously skeptical. He's totally fucking rational. The way that he's interacting with Karl here. He wants to give someone the benefit of the doubt who specifically isn't the public-facing good guy and majority of the recent situations involving him. I like this guy. I like accounting and YouTube a lot, and I hope he continues to make good videos. And it's cool to see Jirard shout him out as he's kind of caught between two forces here. But yeah, I think this is my big takeaway on the segment, is you should subscribe to accounting and YouTube. This guy seems like a good dude, especially if he's admitting he got shit wrong. Yeah, dude, fuck, this is cool. Yeah, good for you. So yeah, I mean, that was kind of the only reason I read that. Is like, yeah, I just wanted to plug this guy, which is so funny because I didn't know Jirard was going to plug him. But he should not collab with Karl. Well, it depends. What is the collaboration entailing? Is he still being true to his content? Maybe he should. Maybe he should defend himself in the video. I don't know what the structure of the video is going to be, but it also does show a bit of potential character growth for Karl. I will acknowledge that. I don't know his motives here, and these could easily be malicious, just to be clear. I'm speculating. But also, you can't deny this is infinitely better than the way that he handled Mooney. Am I wrong? No Karl collab? Again, you could hate Karl. I don't like Karl. I've been heavily critical of Karl, but this is infinitely better than the way he treated Mooney. Billy, the Wiggler, fire, let's go. What's up, Billy Mitchell? But yeah, I mean, that's where I stand on it. I think that, like, the way that he handled Mooney and the way blasting Mooney that way, in comparison to a much calmer interaction, giving the person an opportunity to come on the channel or whatever, is completely different. Karl could be trying to curry favor with as a reasonable person. Yes, and that's why I said you shouldn't take him at his word for it. But ultimately, if let's say his intentions here are pure, this is a way better way to check responses under your Jirard tweet. Why? Did somebody respond to my Jirard tweet? I didn't make a Jirard tweet. Or is it this stream? Shelbo tent? Welcome back, Mama Max. Oh my god, dude. Oh my god, bro. Oh my god, bro. Holy fuck. Dude, that's amazing. This is actually super awesome. Where is the here it is. Someone just wrote me something just now, and I wanted to just we had someone officially just banned from the channel. You blocked me for saying something mildly nice about Dark Viper AU. Yes. I immediately, I don't know what you said. I don't know who you are. I don't remember when I did that, but I definitely did that because you are incompatible with anything this channel produces. Absolutely. Purge the fuck out of Dark Vipers fans. That is a whole yes for me. That is a yes for me, dude. Ooh, that was it. Yeah. Hard, and you're banned from the stream too, by the way. How would it be sensitive? Like, that's the thing. You're so sensitive. Why? Because I banned somebody who's like glazing Dark Viper. I don't know what you said, but like, am I sensitive to the criticism of Dark Viper? How does that work? But yeah, I don't know. I knew that guy was getting banned. I mean, if you ever at me and go, hey, you did this, that's completely unrelated to the stream, yeah, you're getting nuked immediately, 100%. But yeah, dude, look at this. Look at it's little Jirard, dude. This is canonically tall Jirard, the completionist. Dark Viper, a you fan, L. Yeah, I knew he was getting nuked. Bye-bye. Is it the Yoda sound? Yeah, I'm thinking of getting a sound effect for when we fucking get one guy to nuke somebody. Nick, to be blunt, I think that the judge's criticism of his extremely aggressive nature made him reflect a little. That could be possible as well. But again, if that was the case, then why was his response video so terrible? Maybe it was a delayed, maybe it was a slow burn. Because it's like, yeah, I want to be charitable in some capacity to Karl, but it doesn't explain his behavior at all, I guess, since... but maybe he just figured it out. Yeah, it's midnight, Nick. Yeah, we're gonna walk off this one now. I'm probably gonna read some donos, but yeah, I think that was good. Billy, I await our collaborative efforts in the future. It's gonna be fun. And yeah, this is the Jirard the Completionist segment. I'm looking forward to see what Karl puts out. I'm looking forward to see if Accounting and YouTube puts out a video. I feel like this is going to have a short drama run. We might get like 1 or 2 segments out of this, but we'll see what's going to happen. It's Friday. No, yeah, I'm getting some rest though. Okay, so here's the issue. Just for between you and me, between me and the boys, me and my 3,000 closest friends and family right now. I'm currently editing the YMS segment is probably going to come out Monday. I wanted it out Thursday, and while I was sitting there editing it, I realized this is actually an insurmountable task. Turns out when I actually have to watch one of my own videos, it takes a while to edit it, you know? You can't just remove all the dead air, because the entire video is talking about CSAM material, bestiality, and a bunch of other shit that it's the entire video. It's not, and I'm being a bit cautious after the strike that I got last week that got removed and stuff. But ultimately, yeah, you could say pedo and all those words across the stream and you're probably okay. But when every other word out of your mouth is minor and bestiality and all this stuff, you actually probably should censor that so the video doesn't get removed. So the second segment, which is technically the third video, because I split the first 2 because they were long, is going to be in my unedited section is 4 hours in length, and I cannot post a 4-hour video. So I'm trying to see if there's like any moments that are like redundant or unrelated that I can kind of clip to make it a bit more palatable to watch, or I might have to split it in half again. But if I split it in half again, I run the risk of just posting 4 videos that should have been 2 videos, while other main subjects that I need to cover are going to be like a week late to hitting the channel because I'm only posting 1 video per day. So I'm trying to figure out how to navigate this. Something will be released on Monday because that gives me the whole weekend to finish editing it. But it takes fucking forever to edit 4 hours of every other word. It takes like a while on that. Otherwise, like, these videos are really easy to pump out. On rare scenarios like this, I don't really want to do much more YMS on this because it's extremely annoying to edit and get these segments out. Maybe we'll do the critical drinker stuff if he starts responding again. That's probably the only thing. I'm going to do, obviously, one more section going over his response to me, any inevitable response that Rob releases, and probably going to rope Nick Andros' video in there because he's got new stuff.